Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Can, joined with
Become a Prime.
And if we can, you can too. Today we are going to be doing some tests on live streams. We're going to be doing some channel reviews. Hopefully everything is working all right. I have the chat pulled up. Hopefully everything sounds good. I think it should be acting okay. If there was a little bit of double audio there, I do apologize. I did recognize that I had the stream going there. So overall, we're just going to be having a lot of fun today. How does it look from your side, Aaron?
Pretty good.
Sound good? How's the sync?
Let's see.
So Aaron has his laptop. I have my own. I see Dimmy is in the chat. We are going to be having a lot of fun. I'm just really excited because even though we are on a newer system and setup to be doing the stream, it's going to be helping me better get the system portable. So hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully everything looks good for you. Looks pretty good from my end. What are you seeing, Aaron?
It's perfect sync. Absolute perfect sync.
Absolutely. All right, so we seem to have it down. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to... That's what happens when you do it live. We're going to be going over some channels. We're going to be going over some things. And we're also just going to talk about YouTube in general. So, Aaron, I haven't seen you around YouTube. What have you been up to personally if people don't know?
So, I'm not often seen on YouTube, and that's primarily because I do more of the management side of things. I manage a lot of YouTube clients locally, as well as do a radio show. And I'm somewhat recently known for photographing supercars.
So where can people find you if they want to know about more of your supercar work?
Twitter and Instagram are the best. That's both at Become a Prime. There will soon be some stuff on YouTube. I'm working on a very awesome video talking about how to photograph cars while moving, so that'll be amazing.
And that's something that if you have seen this channel for a while, Aaron was actually the person there with me when we were going over how to make a clickable thumbnail, and we gave some tips, and that video did really well. So it's really good. I see Simply Beth who says, have you on with no volume because I'm busy right now. Well, Simply Beth, thank you for at least joining us today. So overall, before we get too much into this, we're going to give people time to go in the stream. And if you're watching this in the replay, well, we'll put a link in the pinned comment so where you can start right into the channel review so you can get the most value possible out of this experience. So again, the focus is going to be on making sure that this, first of all, this mobile setup really kind of works, which it seems to, though I am curious what is going to happen when we switch to doing these reviews, because that's going to be the ultimate test. And I think you and I both are kind of iffy on that. But you know what? I have my phone here and we can look at, oh gosh, I need this to stop. Oh, so I have a wireless headphone and it just kept going mute, 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 mute. And I'm like, I get it, I get it, I get it. I just want to see the live stream out now. So we have 5 people in the chat. Pretty good to see. And yeah, the sync looks pretty good from what I'm seeing here. So with some of the YouTube changes, Aaron, I know that you were previously YouTube certified. What were you certified in, and how can that help our viewers who are watching?
So I was certified in audience growth. That was basically the base one that kind of everybody went for. I had that certification for 2 years, and it basically revolves around the best practices, both content and channel wise, to be successful on the platform.
Now, if you are out there and would like a channel review, please let us know in the chat in the live so we can just, you know, check out your channel, get it pulled up, and Aaron will also be pulling it up. It's kind of the reason we have these 2 different computers going, is so we can get the most benefit here. And hopefully there is no issue when we do that, but we'll figure that one out live, I guess. But let us know if you're watching. Is there anything with delay? How does it look on your end? How's the quality? I'm actually really curious on that. We are going for 1080p here, so hopefully we are actually hitting that on your end. So it looks to be fine on my computer. Aaron, you finding it to be all right?
It's pretty good.
Sweet. Good to see you, RPM Nexus. I'm doing very well. Just having a little bit of fun doing a live stream, doing channel reviews. So if you're interested, please let us know. So one thing I guess I wanted to discuss, and this has been a topic on a lot of creators' minds, is we are entering kind of this 3rd quarter here. And one thing that every creator wants to do is grow and gain more exposure. But you've been taking a backseat on YouTube. What skills have you learned by kind of focusing on your other hobbies that you now know you can bring forward to YouTube? Like, you know, you've been working on DaVinci, you've been doing things like that. So I'm curious.
Absolutely. I've been spending most of my time really improving my ability to have a fast workflow. So speed, quality, really trying to step all of that up. I think, you know, you can't have success without having quality first. And so that's been my goal, is just to make sure that everything I'm making is absolute top notch. And so, you know, that goes down to how well am I editing, how good is my color grading. And I'm sure you've seen my color grading has gotten much better. So I'm very happy with the results, and to be able to not only produce better content, but I have been focusing as well on the backside of YouTube as far as doing better descriptions, doing better tags, better titles, and thank you for your help on that as well. But I've gotten much better at creating compelling content and making sure that that goes into the metadata, and it does see success. It really does.
So I see Epic Cardboard Props who says, "Hey Andrew, nice to see you live. Great to see you here in the stream. If you would like a channel reviews, please let us know." So I think that's really good, and I especially like the fact that you've been learning and you've been taking these newer skills. In fact, before we went live, I saw you were watching some of your footage and you're actually really proud of it. And one thing I find is, especially when you start, a lot of people aren't proud with the work they're doing. You have to start from somewhere. And even when we were watching a few of my old pieces of content now to kind of like move forward and like how I want to move forward as a content creator. And I feel like when you watch your older content, we should always go in with being, I'm proud I created it, but how would I make it better now? That's how I always view my standpoint. And because if you go in with that kind of mindset, you can learn. And for me, you were seeing it earlier. I was writing notes. I'm like, man, what was I thinking? Or, oh, that was actually better than I remember it. And you kind of get those moments where you can grow organically through that. So if you're watching out there live, are you proud of the content you're creating? So you do a lot of just car stuff. So could I bring up your website? And this can kind of be our first test as we
oh boy,
try.
Sure. Here's the test to see if my website works today.
Oh gosh. So for those who don't know out there, Aaron, why don't you give them the link if they want to follow along?
Awesome. So I will go ahead and drop that in.
So Aaron's going to be pulling that up in the chat for you. So if you want to follow along with us at home, hopefully this works. It should work. We will keep focus on that. So hopefully Aaron's website is working. And if not, I guess we can also try my own. So
it's working.
All right, Aaron says it's working. So that is what we're going to be focusing on. So, all right, here goes the actual test, because in order to get this to work, I'm going to need to make sure that I have the key for this working too, because this is going to require just a little bit of planning on my part to make sure that we have this pretty well. But we seem to be maintaining a pretty good stream health here. So I'm happy to see that, especially because, as I said, we are on this mobile version of how I try to do this. So, all right, we're going to transition. So hopefully we may see a little bit of OBS there, but overall you should be able to see the site as I'm sharing it. So hopefully as you're here, you should be able to see Errands. It says, welcome to Goldstein Digital, high-end cinematography and photography services located in. And so what I want to do is view your portfolio today, and I kind of want you to go through and give a little bit of your kind of expertise. And who is that handsome man? Owen Hemsath, if you're out there. Owen Video. But why don't you go and explain a little bit? And again, if you're just coming in at any time and are wanting a channel review, please let us know. But we're just kind of getting a feel of how well this looks, seeing how well this is actually working in general. So hopefully...
You're a few seconds ahead of me, so I will try to guide it from what I see.
And I can look at your screen, so we should be fine. But if you would like a channel review, please let us know. We will immediately go over to that as soon as possible. So
I do have tons of stuff on here, and I have so much more to put up. You've seen a little bit more of what I've been doing recently, so maybe you can judge whether or not I've gotten better. But a lot of what I do is cars. I am also very talented with aviation photography. That's what I started with, was photographing aircraft. So
if we click the aviation tab,
yeah,
we can automatically see it. And you really got some great work. I like this one of the F-35 test pilot at the LA County Air Show. So what are you looking for when you go into a shot like this?
Well, for a portrait, really the most important part to me is to make sure that the subject looks good. And it's in the case of this, I had a wonderful idea because I had met him and he said, "Hey, I'm an F-35 test pilot and the F-35 is here. Can we go and do some shots?" And I was like, "Awesome, let's go for it." And so we went over there, and the jet's beautiful. The only thing with this jet specifically is that there's a lot of shine that comes from the cockpit because of the material that is used. It's a very reflective material. It's used to protect military secrets. Of course, you have the intake covers and all of that. So we had to be very careful what angle we took that photo from. Otherwise, there was going to be insane flares going off. It would have not looked very well. So my goal was basically to make him look as good as possible. And I did 3 versions. I did a full body. I did kind of like a thigh up. And then I also did about a chest length up. And this was the one I chose that I liked the most. I felt that it had the most personality to it with the pose. And, you know, it was very important to me to convey the authenticity of what a pilot looks like. And I felt it accomplished it pretty dang well. I mean, like, if you saw the Captain Marvel movie poster, for example, similar pose, pretty similar. And if I would have done anything better, it would have been to make sure that the center of the plane was more centered.
Oh, I see that lining up with his head, huh?
And the only reason that happened was because at direct center, there was just too much flare, and I couldn't do it. But that's my one nitpick with that photo was I wish I could have fixed that.
Is there ever a way where you could possibly get that by pointing the camera like head on at the plane and then maybe putting him in a post, or no? Because I know a lot of people blend photos, so I kind of want to know you're curious. And I know that when it comes to creating anything, I always tell people try to get it right the first time.
Absolutely. So I have a second gallery on here, and you'll probably see it. It's that center one of the F-35, and the first photo you see, that plane is straight on.
Yes.
And that was taken on a separate day. The plane was positioned in a separate location at a different time of day, so the lighting wasn't so much of a problem, and I was able to actually make that shot happen. And it was beautiful.
Welcome, Oski Waski and Gabrielle Z. Happy to have you here with us again. If you're interested in a channel review, please let us know. Right now, we are taking a look at Errands' website and just kind of going over what he's learned since the last time we've had him on the channel. Aaron, you need to do YouTube more often. You're a really great photographer, and I know you have a really good skill set that you could actually share, and you should be sharing. Folks, give him a hard time because he is talented.
I appreciate that so much. There's one thing people don't know about me is that I really do love YouTube, and I wish that I had more time to make content and really more help to make content, because it is hard to do photography content as a one-man team, just as it would be very hard to do film content as a one-man team, because you have to show the process, and to show the process with one guy, it's a bit difficult, but I do love it. I do want to get back into it, and I'm working on a piece right now, so I hope everyone is excited for that as I am. But yeah, back to the photo. There is this photo where I did it straight on, and it would be very simple actually to go ahead and composite that, and the only thing you would notice is the lighting angle. It just wouldn't look perfect. And is that bad? No, because that happens all the time. It's compositing. Everybody does it. And so I could do it. I could fix the color, because it's a little bit on the yellow side. So I could fix that. I could put the guy in. It was just one of those things at the last minute that I just decided, you know what? I'm okay with it. And he was very happy. So maybe I'll go back. I'll make another version of that and upload it. But at the end of the day, I was really content with it. The only thing I would change about this photo of just the plane is, back when I was doing this, I wasn't shooting with a polarizer, so you can see that reflection just right under the cockpit, and I would definitely fix that with a polarizer would be my one change.
And also, I kind of noticing looking between the two is like color temperature as well, but maybe you could edit more towards making sure it is there. Welcome, UK Here We Grow. Great to have you with us. Again, if anyone is curious, in a channel review, we are working on it right now. We are just showing off a little bit of what Aaron has been up to since the last time we have shown some of his work, and you've really gotten better, and I think that's something that is really clear and apparent. So I know some people out there may be wondering, how did you get this shot if we look in your portfolio with Owen? So you want to go a little bit into how you were able to accomplish this, like what should people be looking for if they are wanting to do some portraiture like this?
So with Owen's portrait, in all honesty, the man is an absolute legend.
You got a very nice Rembrandt patch going here with the triangle on the shape. Was that intentional, or
that was you want the truth? That was accidental.
Accidental Rembrandt.
So I set up for this shoot 2 lights, and I was doing your basic 2 light portrait setup. Very angled, kind of like 2 lights.
Let me transition back to you so people can see kind of what you're doing. Go for it.
Okay, so we kind of had 2 lights, one on each side, kind of angled down a little bit, and that just gives that look kind of under the nose a little bit. And as well, it's designed for lighting men. For lighting women, I typically would use a 1 light setup, but we were all shooting men, so I was using that 2 light setup. Very beautiful. And what ended up actually happening is, Owen being the legend that he is, this man can strike any pose and it's going to look good. He's just naturally talented, that guy. And what happens, I was shooting so fast because this guy was just giving me so much that 1 light didn't fire. So that's how that shot was created, is that 1 light just decided, I'm not going to fire right now. And this came.
So that's actually really cool. And one thing I noticed is, if you want to know how you do Rembrandt, which you accidentally discovered, we have a main light source, and we actually have a bounce, which you kind of can see behind Aaron here. And if you look at my side of this face, you should see shadow, which you are definitely seeing on stream. And then you should see a triangle at certain angles, and that's that Rembrandt patch. So if we transition back to Owen, you can really see where this Rembrandt patch is so well kind of defined. And I like that Ike is saying that picture of Marco, so we can show that one, and I would love to get your thoughts on this one. Like, what made this for you decide this is a great shot?
Well, see, he is also, like Owen, a very talented poser. It's one of those things, I'm not too great at directing people on poses. That's not something I like to do. I'm a very naturalized style of photographer where I like the person or the model to come up with their own poses. Sometimes I will guide and say like, there's a little bit of reflection on your glasses, let's move that down a little bit, or your neck looks a little off, let's go ahead and tilt. And so I'll give like miniature cues, but I don't like to go full into posing. And so what he did is he just gave me, this crazy look just right into the camera, and I mean like stares into your soul. And I was just in love with this shot. It was amazing. Crisp, perfect focus. There's no reflection on the glasses, which is something we were having a lot of trouble with. And I do recommend, if you have a pair of glasses, that you get anti-reflective coating. That's something I have on my lenses, so that you're not seeing that crazy just halo effect in the lens, and it prevents it from blocking out the eye. Because it's one of those things, if you have that light reflection in the glass and it blocks your eye, I as a photo retoucher, I can't fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try, but it's just not going to look good. So it's so much easier if just from the start it looks good. And so anti-reflective coating, get it. It's good stuff. And
that also works if you're doing video too. And I know a few people who wear glasses and they do videos. And one thing that they told me when they started YouTube early on is that they wish they got that anti-reflection earlier, because essentially it really does mean a lot. Because the eye, especially when it comes to like YouTube and this viewing experience, is we want to be able to see the eyes. We want to be able to connect with someone, and not being able to see those really does detract from that.
Like, for example, the shot we did of Nick Nimmin, how his glasses had like that purple tone depending how he positioned his head, and we fixed that, so that wasn't too much of a problem in the shoot. But at first, there's a lot of photos where it had that purple reflection in there, so it just shows how important it could be to have the anti-reflection protection there.
I like that, anti-reflection protection.
It's so essential.
So it seems people aren't asking too much about channel reviews, so let us know. Is there, like, can you guys hear us fine? I'm just wanting to make sure that we're not having any weird, like, we haven't been able to be heard for like the last 30 minutes, or not even 30. I don't think we've been live that long, but for the last little bit here. So just kind of curious, wanting to make sure that we are being heard, that people can see what we're doing. So let us know, and we will transition back to the website. But I think you are currently looking at and listening. Aaron is currently looking at and listening. So as we go here, this is actually the photo I use on YouTube, which he has on his website. And I remember that you edited this photo, and I didn't even remember taking this. If I'm going to be completely honest, like, I think that day we easily did, what, 500 photos here?
Oh, something like that. It was a huge number.
So why don't you explain kind of what you're looking for? And I see you, UK, here we grow. I'm happy to have you look at mine. So we will do that right after we kind of break down Aaron's creative process, and then we will go right into it.
So for your headshot, really what we ended up doing is I wanted to make sure that we could define as much as your face as possible, because this is in the video we did when we shot a video about how to do the amazing thumbnails.
Ike is saying we're coming in a bit quiet, so maybe we can get a little bit closer to the microphone.
Hopefully this will help.
Yes.
So we did that amazing video on doing thumbnails, and in that video, I believe you left it in where I said you had the sculpture of a god, and so
I disagree with that, folks. I want that on the record.
my goal was to give as much facial structure to it as I possibly could, kind of like a Greek god portrait.
So while you keep explaining, I'm going to make sure that our audio levels are fine. So yeah, I see that we're coming in green. I guess I'll do a little bit of tweaking on that when we are back in the lab, but keep going, Aaron.
Okay, so really what I focused on, I wanted to make sure there's a little bit of under the chin shadow there. Is very important, is to have that defined neckline. Now obviously a little harder to do with me because I need to hit the gym a little hard, but with you it's pretty simple because you have a very defined face. So it allows, it's that separation from the neck that really gives you the shape of the face, and then there's a lot of definition in the eyes as well. The only thing I think I would have liked to do was to shoot maybe a little bit more head on, because I do like doing head on portraits, kind of like I did with Owen. But we were lucky in the fact that the side angle worked pretty well. It was a beautiful shot. The hair was fun because you like to have kind of that Superman curl to it.
I don't like to. It's more like genetics have cursed me with it, is how I would describe it.
Oh well. But so your hair has these gaps in it, and to actually take out the gaps of the photos, and plug for me, I have a tutorial on how to get rid of the background on someone who has a little bit of spots in their hair, and how to make it look nice and clean, and it uses this photo. So if you like the way this is done, check that out. But so that was probably the hardest part, was actually editing this and making it look clean. And we just recently went back and did another edit, and we did a red background for YouTube, and I love the red, so I might replace this.
Wow. Someone says just need to wear your underwear outside of your pants. LOL. Well, I don't think that is going to make the most sense. UK, here we grow. But while that is being said, we're going to pull up your channel in the background while we focus on us. And that is something we're going to be making sure that is there. I am on my secondary channel, so I'm going to close Aaron's website, but I highly recommend you check it out. Good to see UK, here we grow, and just get some kind of first initial looks. So I don't know your channel too well, so every opportunity is something to get. Aaron, I see you looking at the channel, and the chat does too. You have a big O face, so is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
I see the chili challenge. And so we had a discussion last night.
Gosh, yes we did.
On the way back, and we were talking about how I thought that I could beat Tiff at a spice contest.
Also,
And
happy to see that you've taken my advice, The Crazy Family Show. You took Tip's advice, or you challenged Tip to a spice contest.
yeah, I did. And the more I think about it, I'm probably going to lose. But I suggested the Carolina Reaper. And I am sure that UK Here We Grow is going to know what the Carolina Reaper is by this challenge. And so that was my suggestion to her.
That would have to be on your channel, though.
Yeah, and I very well might not make it to the next video after that. So that might not be the best idea. Oh, yeah, there he goes. They hurt.
Oh,
It is the hottest pepper.
So
you have to do it. No!
From the hottest pepper to the hottest channel, let's check out UK Here We Grow. That is not an endorsement. I do not know how the temperature of this channel reacts. Hopefully it reacts well. So, first thing right off the bat is I see UK Here We Grow. You reap what you sow. New videos every Tuesday and Friday. I like that a lot. The only thing I will say is, just kind of looking at it right away, is I kind of would like to see maybe you a little bit larger, because I could see you giving a thumbs up, and this may be a little nitpicky, and I want to see how well you guys can see it. So should I zoom in? I might zoom in just a little bit, though on my smaller screen it doesn't seem to zoom in too much. But I also noticed the B on top of the E in the word we, which, whoo, that rhymed. that was not on purpose, but I wonder if that has deeper meaning, just kind of right off the bat. One thing I would like to know is, it's good to know that you have new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Friday. I can't read, but what specifically kind of videos? Is it all? I'm assuming because of your name, it's all planting based. Is it specific? Maybe farming. So for me, just kind of as a quick look here, that's kind of what I'm thinking. What about yourself, Aaron?
Well, so I like this banner. The only thing that is off to me, and this might have a lot to do with the fact that I'm on my laptop instead of my desktop, is that the information, the title, and then the kind of catch line is not centered. And that just gets me. I'm OCD about centering, you know this.
But also, this is, I think, for mobile here. So
Yeah.
I know you prefer center, but also, like, YouTube doesn't care what we prefer. We got to deal with those constraints. So are you talking about, like, the text isn't centered within itself or within the image?
It's not centered within the image.
Yeah, that's just due to the YouTube cutoffs, I'd say.
Yeah, so I'd be curious to know how this looks on mobile, and I may eventually look.
You could pull it up now while I kind of do a little bit more. So
Sure.
Aaron's going to be on the mobile looking at, and UK Here We Grow says, "Yup, gardening, beekeeping, and poultry." You see, I got the beekeeping from the bee, but it's kind of subtle. Honestly, if it wasn't for you telling me, I would have no idea just from this banner that you do beekeeping and poultry. And yes, I noticed the bee, but on a mobile device, it looks like that bee's almost kind of cut off.
Here's
And
what's happening.
the subscribe to our on mobile is actually not visible on Aaron's device.
Your video, as far as your schedule, is not visible on mobile.
Welcome, Kim here. Good to see you.
The subscribe isn't, but obviously that's a part of the desktop environment. And then the subscribe to our on top of the YouTube channel is not visible on mobile. And the very top of the bee's wing is cut off. And so what that would tell me, at least in my opinion, is I would take that text, bring it down just a little bit, and I might put a little bit of a shadow behind it just to increase the visibility. And it's something with stylized texts like that for the catch line there is I don't like stylized fonts.
And you're talking about the "you reap what you sow,"
Yeah.
just to clarify.
Yeah.
So I definitely could see the confusion on that. For me, it's just, if I look at it on your phone, it's a little difficult to read. So I get that. Also, as more and more people come in, I would like to say that we will add, because I'm not on my usual setup, I may have to ask who asks for a channel review. However, super chats will always take priority in the queue. Just want to put that out now, just in case people are confused. So as we scroll down, kind of looking at the channel, we now know a little bit more than what is here. I see all recent uploads by UKHWG. I get that this is UK Here We Grow, which is great. I would actually maybe spell this out, since I can tell that you've created this as a custom one. And to kind of just really go in on the SEO side here, I would put recent uploads by UK Here We Go written out, and then I would put all the recent, or all the latest is fine, but for better just kind of consistency, because I don't know why my mouse did that, but okay. But you could also call this latest video, so you could also do it there, but just for that consistency. And you can also just put in the parentheses UK HWG, because I'm sure that your core audience knows that, and kind of looking at your views, you have decent views to what your subscriber count is, so that's pretty good. I see that you have Nick and D both in your other channels, so clearly you are getting some really good advice from them. Kind of missed seeing them live this morning. There's been a void in the Niminati. I'm sure other people have felt it too. I like how you have my most popular videos. Again, if you want to go for a little bit more, my most isn't going to be as searchable as UK Here We Grow, because what these do is by having your channel, if people search up your channel, these playlists can very realistically show up. And if they're in a playlist over just your channel or in a video, that's great. So that's kind of my standpoint there. I then see growing in containers, so I like that, but I am not that versed in it. So what are we growing in containers? Is this a beginner's playlist? Because like the one right after is the very best potato videos. Well, that's pretty descriptive, and I can understand that. Giant potatoes, sprouting potatoes, potato experiment, the results, early container potatoes. I get that. So, Aaron, what do you think? Kind of as we keep scrolling down and look at more playlists here.
Well, some of the playlists are actually pretty amazing. There's this one here, how to build a garden shed complete step by step, and I think that is incredible. That's proper use of a playlist right there. Absolutely amazing title for the playlist. That's absolutely searchable. There's a series of videos here, and I'm not sure how many. Looks like 5, and I just think that's so well done. There's a little bit of a drop off from the solar to actually building it, so something's telling me a lot of people learn about solar. That must be heavily searched, so good on you there for getting the solar. And as it keeps going down, there's like this unbelievable fruit harvests. Then there's all the creative playlists down here as well. You have one playlist called Garden Tour. Now, I don't know why you have a playlist of one video. That's a tad bit strange, but okay, it exists. And overall, I like it. I kind of like what you're doing with the playlists for the most part. I do agree with Andrew's suggestion on the popular videos that I would put your name there instead of my most, because it's far more searchable with your name. But overall, I think it's pretty awesome.
And one thing I kind of noticed is there's this little plant in the bottom left-hand corner of your videos. Is that a logo to recognize your channel? Like, what is that? Because I don't know. And if that is the logo to like help me recognize, it's very small, but it may have some more personal video to your channel specifically. Overall, though, I like the text. Very easy to read, very consistent font. And my question is, you have this font here. Is this the same font that's in your kind of banner here? Because that helps with consistency. UK Here We Go says my logo. It's very hard for me to see it, especially on mobile, looking over at it. So it's one of those things that if I know your channel super well, then I'm going to be able to see it and it's going to be there. But if I don't, it's going to be a little difficult. So that's something to keep in mind. The final thing I kind of want to do is I want to look at how your video SEO is looking. And while I'm pulling that up, Aaron, what do you think of the thumbnails just in general?
So
let's look at the recent uploads to kind of keep into what we can show here.
There is something that I am noticing is there's 2 videos here that are not keeping in direct line with the theme of having that logo down in the corner. They have there's 2 with a smaller logo than usual, and then there's also 2 that have no logo at all.
And you're going to need to go to the homepage because I have no idea where you are.
Oh, I'm on the videos tab.
Yeah, go to the homepage and let's look at those so I can make sure the audience is seeing exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. So let's hope that's there so I can still point that out. Okay. Let's look at the recent uploads, okay? So the first one there, you see how there's that small logo down in the bottom? And then the next one, there's a big logo.
UK Here We Grow says, was testing whether I needed them. I'm assuming talking about the logo there.
Yeah. And so, I mean, if you want to A/B test it, awesome. I think that consistency is always the best policy for just about everything. And so I would have that logo the same size on everything. Now, if you're thinking about going to a smaller logo and just sticking smaller logo, that could work. I think if you go that small that it's not legible and nobody can tell what it is, it's just too small.
I agree with that, and especially since you are so prevalent in your videos and you are very heavily featured here on your videos, I would say that maybe just a logo redesign where it is more recognizable for you, because even if I know your channel, you're going to be what's more recognizable to me, particularly over this really tiny logo. So Chad, if you are looking at this channel, can you easily see this? If you didn't know this channel, could you tell that this was a logo? Because I don't really see it over here, but what I do see when I look at your channel banner, I do see you, and that's what I'm really focusing on.
Okay, he says great points. So
awesome. So what I want to look at now is the final little step here is, I was giving you some watch time apparently, and really good understanding of SEO. I mean, overall, really killing it here. So what I would say as I look here is how to grow asparagus the lazy way. It's a quick video showing you the quickest method on how to grow asparagus. Perfect. Not only that, you do the work once and feed yourself for the next 20 years. So not only that, you do the work once with this, and I would put with asparagus and feed yourself for the next 20 years. Again, you have a really good understanding of SEO and it shows. I would just say you want to like fine tune those little things. He has a really good idea with a, he has a pinned comments. It says, "Pokes, please leave a thumbs up for the video." I would also go a step further and say, please consider leaving a thumbs up. And also, if you enjoyed this, check out another playlist, because that really is effective. And I've been seeing a lot of really good things when it comes to that. And I'm seeing more people ask for channel reviews. So once we are done here, we may have to do it in a better system to where we will tell you when we can look at it. And it's usually when we have us on screen. And of course, super chats will always take the priority when it comes to channel reviews. But overall, I think UK Here We Grow has a pretty great understanding of what it takes to have a really good YouTube channel. We can kind of see that in the growth he has, the 35,000 subscribers. He has very good video views, some all the way up in the 200,000s if we look at the popular videos. So really doing well there. So what I would really be testing right now for you is your view duration. If you have something like TubeBuddy, you can do that with our latest addition to Retention Analyzer to see how well it does. UK Here We Go says, yeah, I do that at the end of the video. Aaron, what do you give for a grade for UK Here We Grow?
Give him a B+.
All right, so what do you think he can do to improve to get that to an A?
To get that to an A, one thing I'd like to see, and for example, that video we just took a look at, the How to Grow Asparagus the Lazy Way, I always like to see the title of the video in the description, and you made an attempt, but it's not exactly the same.
So YouTube, it's one of those that YouTube does their best, so I understand why you did that, but I also see what you did.
And then also, I'd like to see just a little bit of a change to the banner to be more mobile friendly, and then also just to bring it down a little bit and make it a little bit more legible. But I love the color theme. I love how you've taken colors from the image and then make that a part of your text. I think that's very important to do. It shows really good design. So just very minor refinements that are needed.
Couldn't agree more. I definitely think that you have a really solid channel. I would go on, just because of looking at the SEO, looking at some of the things with the playlist, for example, that you can improve. I'm going to go for an A-. So overall, a B+ and A- is a really good grade, and I don't think many people would be upset with that. But if you are the person that needs an A+, what I would recommend is just, those little touches with the playlist, really including what your channel is all about up here. I can visually see it, but honestly, without that kind of confirmation, I really would think that this is a planting and farming based channel, though you do things with bees and you do things like these chili challenges. And so that kind of stuff, just having a little bit more kind of knowledge really helps me as a viewer better understand, UK Here We Go says, wow, thank you guys. I'll tighten them up. Thanks for your help. That is what we are here for. That is what we aim to do. Again, I am a firm believer that if I can, you can too. So that's how this channel kind of works. That's what we kind of focus on. And we will go back to Aaron and myself. So we are looking for channels to review now. Aaron, so it's been a little bit since you have done the channel reviews last. So one thing I would say is, like, since we're doing this 2-monitor setup and you guys can watch this as real time as we figure this out, I'd say we focus on like the home page, not the videos page, because I can't keep up with what you're doing in real time. So if we keep on the home page and you're like, go to this playlist, I can just help the viewers out just a little bit more. So as we look here, what would you give as a grade to the channel we just reviewed? Please let us know. Always appreciated. UK Here We Go says, appreciate the review both. We appreciate having you on today. Hopefully you stick around to watch other people, because there's always stuff you can learn from other channels.
This content would blow up on Facebook.
So as we look here, I'm seeing people say channels, but I'm only going to review channels if they are in the chat. So if they're not in the chat, they're not getting a review. One of the perks of being in the stream is the opportunity to get your channel looked at, and if they're not here, kind of makes it a little difficult, or kind of not fair to the people who've given their time to join us here today. So that is something. I remember that Cardboard asked for Epic Cardboard Props asked for a channel review. So let's go with that. As I pull it up, I will go ahead and check it out. So you should see it a little bit up above. And I definitely think you're going to love this channel, Aaron. I'm going to keep it on this cam view as we see. So that is something I'm just excited to see what Aaron thinks. I'm glad we got that.
Thor's hammer.
Aaron,
yes.
Aaron is excited for this channel, folks, if you could not tell. Maybe that's something I can work on, is maybe getting with you, Aaron, and making some graphics for the show so that we can focus on maybe like having us in the corner or something and the channel we're reviewing. And of course, I know you're good with graphics, so if you ever need graphical work, reach out to Aaron. I know that you are always working hard to make sure you can up your game, though Aaron's primarily focus is photography, so if he can't get to you, please be patient. But as we transition over, let's go ahead and check out Epic Cardboard Props, which just first, right off the bat, we know what to expect from the channel on the name. I love the name. I really think it's straight to the point, which is good. I like that we can see some of the work you've done. It sets the tone. I mean, from the channel name, we can see. So we see DIY, we see, we see a gun with a silencer, we see the Millennium Falcon, we see Thor's hammer. I think that is from a Terminator arm, but I might be wrong on that. And then we see turn your cardboard boxes into masterpieces, weekly video. So I think that's really straightforward, to the point. I know what to expect. I can see what to expect. And then there's a reminder to subscribe. So it's really good that you're trying to keep people on YouTube. YouTube always rewards people when it comes down to it. So it's something that I think is really good. And as I look here, we have, how to make a Millennium Falcon out of cardboard. We have some of, just looking at your backdrop, you're really focused on showing off your stuff. We see a YouTube pillow. So as we look at kind of your playlist here, your playlist on your homepage need a lot of work, because what I'm noticing is that you have DIY props out of cardboard. You have your cosplayer props from cardboard, Marvel cardboard props. I would start featuring these playlists on your channel. And also, I would put Epic Cardboard Props, recent uploads, and popular uploads. Again, kind of going back to what we told UK Here We Grow, we want you to get views for those if people are searching up your stuff. And if people are looking up how to do Epic, or how to make cardboard props, that should be a playlist if it's not already. How to make cardboard props, because that is something people are going to be looking for. And you can use tools such as TubeBuddy, and we can just look up cardboard props and kind of go into just what people are searching for. If it fits with your content, are great things to have as playlist titles. So as we look up, I looked up keyword props because I'm looking at Keyword Explorer, and I'm apparently not doing what I need to. So
we have a super chat.
We do. Well, Michael Healy says, review 4 videos only to know if on the right road. You are in the queue. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. You are next in our queue. But as we see here, Cardboard props for plays. Epic cardboard props is something good. DIY cardboard props. All of these video searches and these video topics are stuff you can use for playlist titles. And that honestly is super useful. Oh, hello and welcome, Paul Peck Drywall Tube. And if everyone out there is enjoying the stream, please consider sharing it out. We do appreciate it. We have 17 beautiful people watching. If you don't believe you're beautiful, I'm not going to argue with you, but I think you're wrong. A little bit of a contradiction to get people riled up in the comments. But in all seriousness, you have some very searchable things you can make as playlists. And as I showed last time I did a live stream, I dominate views through playlists. And playlists are super powerful, and YouTube loves playlists. So I don't know all the playlists you have because we're just kind of looking here, but really kind of looking at what people are searching for using TubeBuddy to kind of really get people into your playlists. Now, one thing I'm noticing when I look at is DIY Captain Marvel Star, DIY How to Do the Dark Knight Batmobile, DIY Mockingjay Pin, DIY. So my main thing is when you have DIY, I think that it is, for some, there's more space I'd rather have on the actual cardboard prop. So for example, How to Make Lucille from The Walking Dead is an example where I'd like to see more of the cardboard prop than the DIY. And there are ways, and Aaron, you can kind of explain, what are ways where he could edit the DIY in, maybe behind the Millennium Falcon? Because I like the blueprint that you have in your thumbnail. So Aaron, what would you say where he could like incorporate that DIY still, but not have it so focused in the thumbnail?
It's hard because he has varying things that he is putting in, and sometimes consistency is going to suffer with the kind of work that he's doing, and that's okay. I think the best advice that I can give of what to do with the DIY is you could go a little smaller. It's perfectly legible, I believe, at least right now. You could maybe go a little bit smaller and just try to keep it to one corner is my advice.
And if you want to, I see that you have your logo here. The top right corner, if you look at How to Make an X-Wing, if I hover over your video, there is the Watch Later button that comes up and covers it. So I would maybe put your actual logo in the top left, and feel free to move yourself to the left to change things up. Again, you want to play with audience expectations as much as you can.
Also, I feel the need to mention, this guy looks like Kylo Ren, and I'm loving it.
Someone says, I rather click on the X-Wing than DIY. And I definitely think that is something to keep in mind. I like seeing the cardboard prop, but maybe also try playing with a little bit of mystery. Try maybe showing the cardboard prop in being worked on. So that's something to also consider. So overall, I think the thumbnails look pretty strong, very recognizably you. And I definitely like seeing the logo, but maybe change that into the top left corner. What I want to do is, since Captain Marvel, obviously, we just saw it in theaters, I want to see how well optimized this video is. So I'm noticing the DIY, the how-to, that's not searchable. I'd get rid of it. Because that is something that even if you rank for it, it's going to be so competitive that you're going to fall out automatically. I'm also noticing where you have some good ideas, but it's not followed through, right? So you called it DIY Captain Marvel Star. I don't think that's a bad title. I mean, when it comes to Captain Marvel Star DIY and things like that, how to build Captain Marvel Star, how to make a Captain Marvel Star, DIY Captain Marvel Star, you don't mention cardboard at all. And your videos are epic cardboard props. So I'm sure if you did DIY Captain Marvel Star cardboard, you'd do really well for it. Because I'm looking here and I don't see that in your tags, though that is something to consider. And then you can say DIY Captain Marvel cosplay costume star. So I'm going to click on this, add in those few little bits. DIY Captain Marvel cosplay costume star, just to see what people think. And I want to check the results. And there really isn't that many videos for it. And just adding some more of those stuff, really, as you keep going on here, are going to help you. So just kind of keeping the focus on when people are looking at you and what they're looking for in search. You really want to make sure, especially for trending topics like this, because this is technically a tentpole event. And, you know, when Captain Marvel, the hype kind of dies down, that is something that you're going to have to keep in mind. I see from New Josh 83. How do you get you guys to look at someone's channel? We always prioritize super chats, so we have 2 that are being super chat, and that is Michael Healy and the Crazy Family Show. Thank you for the super chat. So those 2 have priority, but after that, we open it up to the public. Again, the reason we prioritize super chat is because those people have been so courteous and generous to give back to us here for our time, so we want to give them the most value they can get. So, excuse me as I cough. Aaron, why don't you take over with your thoughts when it comes to just the tagging?
So we have here just a few tags, like you said, that really just shouldn't be there. Cardboard, props, DIY, and how to. You're never going to rank for those. It's just not going to happen. There's too much competition in that tag.
Well, I think it's more important to say, like, you're never going to consistently rank for that. Like, you could rank for it with a new tag, but you're going to fall off really quick.
Very correct. Okay, we'll go with that one. So maybe what you might want to do is, instead of having cardboard and props, to then do cardboard props as one tag, and you might rank better for that, because having these just one word tags is doing you really no good at the end of the day. I love the description.
Yeah,
the description's great. Your first 3 lines, perfect. I love it.
But here's even right here, how to make the Captain Marvel star symbol out of cardboard. I don't see that as a tag, and that's easily a tag.
Yeah, that's easily a tag. That absolutely should be a tag.
And then I see the confusion, like, that should be, it almost feels like that's what you wanted your title to be, and then DIY Captain Marvel star kind of came later, so it's a little bit of confusion there between the 2. But I think it is time to kind of give the channel an overall grade, because he does have some good ideas for the tagging, and it's very clear. When it comes time to it, Aaron, what do you give?
I'm going to give him an A-.
A- from Aaron. And what are your reasonings for the A-? How can he improve to an A?
I'd like to see, as we discussed, more consistency in the thumbnail. If your logo's going to be there, have it on everything. Try to do something with the DIY where you're not always having to move it around all the time. Or maybe even experience, but just not having it. Maybe you don't need it. You know, something to experiment. A/B testing is wonderful with TubeBuddy. Always a good thing to try. And I have a feeling that this banner, just looking at it, that there might be a few cutoffs on mobile. So we haven't looked at it on mobile, but I would.
Why don't you go ahead and pull that off?
I would absolutely encourage to do some mobile optimization, because I have a feeling this isn't gonna fit.
People thought you said D-. You said A-.
No, A-, not D.
That would be a really harsh grade. I'd be like, wow.
I'm not that mean, I promise.
All right, Epic Cardboard Props says, I'm doing an A/B testing with my logos. Hopefully you're using TubeBuddy A/B testing. That makes life so much easier.
Awesome. And then, so I'm looking at the banner.
The hammer is getting a little cut off. The Falcon, the gun, even the DIY. So really take a look at your profile banner on...
And weekly videos is gone. It's just gone.
Well, that also could just be... Oh, wait, I see what you mean. Weekly video is just not there. And some of it's cut off and is on desktop, which is fine. But you really want those kind of key things to be there for that computer.
Yeah, so really what I'm noticing with the desktop design is it's using all the space that's there, and that's wonderful. But maybe just shrink that in a little bit, because there's so much detail here that as you shrink, it's not going to hurt too much on desktop, but it's really going to help on mobile.
That's really good advice. For me, because I'm seeing a lack of just kind of that, I want your homepage, I want it to be really easy to navigate. You're doing a lot right. I see that you're a TubeBuddy user. You tell us in the chat. I want to see improvement. I want to see it easier for new people, and I want your playlist to be searchable. I want you really to kind of focus more on the searchability, because how to make Thor's hammer with cardboard is super searchable. How to make a Millennium Falcon out of cardboard is super searchable. But then, as we see, like DIY Mockingjay pin, like I don't know how searchable that is comparatively. So I would say focus on making your playlist super searchable. Focus on maybe doing all of the Avengers weapons out of cardboard if possible. I'm sure that takes a massive amount of time. However, I do think it'd be worth it. I'm sure you probably have like Cap's shield in mind or things like that. And I'm sure there are a lot you have. Overall, though, I'm going to give a B. I think there's some stuff you could improve on. I want to see better playlists. I want to see playlists with accurate descriptions, and I want to see more because I think you have a really good stuff there. Another thing Paul Peck says is put a subscription link in your about section. Then it'll show up on your channel banner at Epic Cardboard Props. So that is something to keep in mind. So I know that our next person we have in the queue, and I will transition back to us, is Michael Healy, who says, and I want to make sure I have this right, review 4 videos only to know if I'm on the right road. Well, if you're on the road to El Dorado, that's going to be a little bit harder. We'll do our best. No one really knows that, but in all more seriousness, I'm just finding your channel as we go through the list. So, all right.
I'm impressed.
Huh? That is something. New Josh 83 says, 2 buddy tools rule. Thank you, New Josh. Appreciate that. You are added to our queue. We will get to you once we do Michael, and then once we help, I believe it was the Crazy Family Show. So it's always cool to see. So the last 4 videos, only to know if I'm on the right road. That is the request. I see them. It is time to check them out. It's also interesting because I look over, you use dark mode and I do not. Some people are like, ugh, light mode YouTube? Yeah, it's been that way for years. Don't treat me weirdly. Transition over. So, as we kind of look back over here, I definitely kind of see what you're doing. Or I'm assuming you're kind of doing an A/B test with you versus maybe someone else in the thumbnail. Is that kind of what you're going for there, Michael? And you said to focus on the videos, so that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on specifically for you. Review 4 videos only to know if I'm on the right track. I'm assuming it's the email Android made easy, email iPhone made easy. So I think that's kind of what we're going for, and of course you can kind of let me know. Daisy Morgan says, Andrew Can, hope you're good today. I hope I'm good every day, but I am doing very well. What about you, Aaron?
It's a wonderful day. It's an absolute wonderful day.
Epic Cardboard Process, thank you guys. As we're kind of waiting for Michael to give us a little bit more feedback. But Aaron, as a graphic designer, right, what are your thoughts on these thumbnails?
So I'm gonna be absolute straight up here. For a channel with 11 subs, your artwork is incredible.
Paul Peck coming in with a $10 super chat. Paul says, get a coffee, guys. Paul, thank you.
You just paid for our breakfast. Thank you. You're the best.
Aaron. Paul Peck coming in. Thanks, Paul. We do appreciate it. Paul, I need to talk to you. I sent you a message on the TubeBuddy forums. If you ever want to join the community forums, community.tubebuddy.com. Back to Michael, though. Wanted to thank you, Paul. Thank you.
So, as I was saying, for a channel with 11 subs, your artwork is incredible. Like, this is top notch, top of the line. I can't even complain. There's nothing wrong with this in any aspect. The color is great. The text is great. It's just everything is perfect.
Now, while that is Aaron's opinion, what I will always tell people is that just because we like something or someone likes something doesn't mean the algorithm and the people who need to see this, sorry if you heard that accidentally hit the mic, are going to necessarily take to it. But I do agree, it looks, for my personal taste, really good and I would click on it. I'm curious how an audience will react.
So, as I was saying, I can't even say anything wrong with this audio. Like the design here is perfect. I mean, he's got his upload schedule. He has what he does. He's got his tag. He's got his name. Everything is great. The thumbnails, to get back to that, there is 2 things here. There's this new design and there's this other design. And I'm wondering, as Andrew said, are you A/B testing this? Is this something you're experimenting with? I love, personally, the first design. And the reason for that is...
the first design being which one? Which video specifically?
The ones of the Android and iPhone.
Okay.
And my specific reasoning for why I like those more is because it's your personal brand. And if these videos are what I think they are, and it's basically I'm thinking you talking to the camera, I believe that your face should be in the thumbnail because this is your brand. The brand is you, and I think it's very important to represent that. I do love how you have your logo down in the corner of every thumbnail, so great job on that consistency. These are incredible.
So I couldn't agree more. One thing I noticed, and just a bit of heads up, is your website link is broken on YouTube, but I want to take a look deeper into these videos. So right off the bat, really well shot. Sorry if you hear that. Welcome to LA, folks. Oh,
that sounds like my best friend right there.
So right off the bat, I love the lighting in your video. It looks really good. What I'm noticing though, and you asked us to check out your videos, is just using TubeBuddy's best practices. Where are your info cards? Where is your pinned comment? Where's your hearted comment? And hearted comment could be due to lack of comments, which I'm kind of seeing here, but where's the share on Twitter? Where's their like on Facebook? That stuff actually matters. As I look here though, setting up email on Android phone for business email address. Really kind of focused highly on business, which there's nothing wrong. So setting up email on Android phone. All right. Maybe Android devices might do better, but I haven't looked at the search rankings. So let's see. So what I'm seeing here is while these tags aren't bad, they're on the right track. They're still kind of missing what we're looking for specifically in terms of honing true to your title. And so what I'm seeing here is email on mobile, right? So this is probably going to be very searched. So it's really competitive. Yes, it's being searched frequently, but the competition is poor and the optimization strength, while it is low, you're going to have a really good clickable thumbnail. And I do think you have a clickable thumbnail. It's just, I would say that it could come down to how the YouTube algorithm is going to place it and where it would even begin to go. So while I understand it's about setting up an email on Android phone for business, maybe let's go a little more specific. Setting up a business email on your Android phone. Like, let's look at that. That's a little more search friendly, it seems. So it has less results, but what I'm seeing is how to set up Exchange email on Android phone. So what about how to set up business email on Android phone? So that's something you can kind of play with. And it's not that the video is bad. And Aaron's actually watching the video now as we speak. But it's something that I think it could be due to lack of what people are actually searching for. RPM Nexus says, Aaron, big fan of yours and Can's videos from the last VidCon. So let's look up how to set up business email on Android phone. Because this could be a little bit more tailored to an audience you want to hit. And as we see here, I definitely think your thumbnail could stand out. And actually, you rank number 30 for this exact keyword ranking. Now, what this means is that if you focus maybe a little bit more, you could do a lot better here because you're showing up as number 30. And what we would ideally want is for you to show up number 1. So that is something you really got to keep into consider, because one thing I think we've talked about just kind of doing these streams is like that lack of like clear searchability for these titles, because for what this kind of content is it's super search biased and related. So when you don't show up for search, you have a harder time. So Aaron, you actually got to watch a little bit of the video, so why don't you take over a little bit? So
one thing that I am noticing, and I've been watching in 144p, so I don't want to judge quality too much because I have been watching very low res. But one thing that I do want to touch on is the audio. And I think if you're going to have a video that is a tutorial and you're going to be talking in it, the audio needs to be perfection. And you have amazing video here. It's absolutely wonderful. I just want to see to have better audio. And there's tons of stuff you can do here. And it's just what I'm noticing is this hissing in the audio. And one of those things, I think if you switch up your miking setup a little bit, that's going to get fixed. So I would put as much focus as possible into the audio, and then see here. I like the way the video is shot, first of all, and I like how you're doing screen capture. I'm watching the iPhone video, by the way, is what I am judging my critique off of is the setting up email on an iPhone, and simply because I have an iPhone, so I can at least somewhat judge this process, whereas maybe you can touch on the Android side because I don't know anything about Android. But I am noticing here that the video is great. I love that you have the screen capture. It's just I want to see a little bit better audio from you is my only request that I can make this far, is work on that audio.
I think that's pretty fair critique. So I'm pretty sure if we take a look at the other videos, we may see that kind of similar confusion of title to, you know, but looking here, this one seems to be a little better, like optimized. At least it has an understanding, but it still comes into that same problem where it's like setting up email on iPhone, business email address. It's people don't necessarily search that way, at least when it comes to how you can easily do. So I see that you might have targeted this because it's got pretty decent in the unweighted, but also you got to really take into consideration that weighted score. That weighted score is really going to make the night and day difference. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that you guys can see my screen if you see the OBS pop up there. But this is pretty... Competition is poor. The optimization strength is there, and you may have ranked there at a time, but it seems that since then it has fallen off. And it does seem that you have a comment, you did follow it, but you still kind of see the info cards are missing. That pin comment is missing. So while the video quality seems to be there, it's just making sure that we can kind of keep up and have that searchability there as well. Now, while this isn't badly searched, it's very competitive, and even for my channel size at 2.8 thousand subscribers, I would have a hard time for reaching this. So that's something you got to keep in mind, is your current channel's performance, and you have to find smaller ways to hit these bigger kind of topic ideas. And that's nothing bad to you, it's just kind of how you would have to position yourself. Now, this one is a little more specific: how to blacklist words on YouTube comments, 1500 plus block word free. So this one has a little bit more of focus, and it's how to blacklist words on YouTube comments, how to blacklist words on YouTube channel. Like, this is a lot more focused on something specific to you. And I like this logo here. I like your little intro, as I kind of see. I think it looks really professional. Overall, it looks really good. It's just keeping that focus on whatever your topic is. So this one I think does a better job than the other two because it kind of keeps that consistent focus in the title. I see it in your descriptions. It's just kind of keeping that mindset. And as you see, and as I'm seeing here, as you go on and on, it goes very well to keeping you in getting your viewership. But again, you're doing a lot of searchable content, which is good, especially considering that you don't have that much content. But it's remembering, how do all of these pieces of content kind of play into one another? Because that's really going to matter. Because what I'm seeing here is YouTube channel important settings. I see that you have yourself, which is good, and you have, you know, the creator insider, which is good. But one thing to keep in mind is I would A/B test these if you can to see if you and the thumbnail does better. And also, I noticed the thumbnail for these videos is kind of crowded, so that's something to keep in mind. So overall, I think that when you focus on, and what we see is when you focus on what you've titled the video and you keep that true in the description of your videos, in the tags, we see that you're doing well. So you didn't ask us for a grade. You asked us more so for thoughts on the videos. Aaron, you watched a little bit of the videos. Give thoughts, kind of just not so much on things that are like personal things, but like on the technical level. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, when it comes down to it, these videos are very well done in the overall aspect. It's scripted well, it's filmed well. I love the screen cap, and I think the screen cap is very important, especially in that iPhone video, to teaching, because it allows someone to directly look at what you're doing. And you know, that only problem, I want to see better audio, and I know it's definitely possible, and it wouldn't be hard to do. That's my only thing.
Overall, I think you're doing a great job, Michael. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for coming back every week and letting me check it out. I think you're on the right track here, and I think you're kind of finding your groove. Again, it's just those things to kind of keep in mind, and we're always learning, folks. Everyone is learning how to get better at this YouTube game. Even I don't call myself an expert. I call myself a forever student. Though Aaron looks at me like, you don't get to say that, Andrew.
Yeah, you don't get to say that. You're an expert. deal with it.
You see, Nick Nimmin has the same kind of philosophy. So as we are pulling up now, we're going to be pulling up some of these channels just to have them in the review. We're going to be pulling up the Crazy Family Show up next. Then we are going to be doing new Josh 83 to make sure that we have the channel queue going, and I want to make sure that we can always do our best. I know that from what I'm seeing here from the Crazy Family Show, your feedback is appreciated, is what they said. And so, Michael, hopefully you found that helpful. He says, thanks for your time and info. I do appreciate it. Again, we have my phone here with the chat. We have this. I have the channels being pulled up. So, Michael, thank you again every week for the opportunity. Paul Peck, I know that you probably don't want a channel review, but I feel bad. So how about this? If you don't want a channel review, why don't you choose someone you would like to gift a channel review to? I think that's a pretty fair in between. But if you do want a channel review, I'm gladly do it. But I know you, and every now and then you're like, nah, don't give me a channel review. So we'll figure that one out. But I wanted to thank the 15 people who are watching and have stayed watching. Let's start with the Crazy Family Show. So this is a channel I have looked at before. Why don't we go ahead and transition over? Now, because I've looked at this channel before, I already have some thoughts. But Aaron, you haven't seen this channel, correct?
I have not.
Lead the charge.
Okay, so I want to start with your banner here. I see you have your Twitter on the banner, and I also see you have it as a link. The link is good because it's clickable. In the banner, I can't read this. If I had my glasses off, I couldn't read a single thing on here. But with my glasses on, I still can't read this small text. And I know why you've done this is you wanted that separation between those bubbles off to the side. And I agree. That's very beautiful. Good design. This needs to be larger. So one idea for this, if you only want to have Twitter there, is to take the Twitter logo, move that off to the side and down a little bit, and then take the @ and move that to the side of the Twitter logo instead of having it below. And that's going to allow you to make it just a little bit bigger so that somebody can actually read it and tell what it is. I love the Canadian flag in there. So I don't know where in Canada you are from, but Canada is awesome. So thank you for that. Your thumbnails.
Before you kind of go on thumbnails, I just want to talk about the banner. I believe this is a new updated banner. And from what I'm seeing, I definitely like it. I like how we can see the family a lot more. I like, as you mentioned, the flag, the official channel of the Crazy Family Show. I like how it kind of looks cartoony almost, which I feel is really good for like a family channel to feel like that. I do agree with you, Aaron, and that's actually a really good observation of the focus on the Twitter link. Honestly, when it comes to things like that, I would say what I would prioritize if you are going to have a link like that, I would prioritize maybe the subscribe to the channel. I know you have it here, but maybe the Patreon or maybe something else, something that's going to be positively benefiting you in that kind of way. Because this is the most important link. This is what you are telling your audience out of everything I want you to check on it. And if it is your Twitter, then by all means, keep them going to that Twitter, you know? I do like getting to see the family. I think that's cute. I do think that maybe, and I'm kind of looking here, it looks like you're going for like a Pokeball theme with your logo in the thumbnail here. Or like which I'm not sure if that's on purpose, but if it is, I think it looks really great. I think that is really cool. I like how there's red, white, and blue color scheme. The one thing I would say is kind of what I notice here is I kind of want the same shading that you have on the actual banner on your thumbnail image. And I want that font to be similar to as it is there. What I mean by that is I want the Crazy Family Show to be a little bit more, it's almost more bold here. And it might be just scaled down, but it's way more readable here than it is on your icon. And honestly, maybe your icon in the center there, and actually, you know what? Scrap the text. Put a photo of your family in that white there. I think that'd be cooler. My 2 cents on the matter. The Crazy Family Show says it is. Sounds good. Thank you for giving us feedback. So, Aaron, you wanted to talk about thumbnails.
Yeah. Consistency is a severe problem here. I love your logo. Like you were saying with the Pokeball aspect, I agree. It does look like a Pokeball. And when you have such a good logo, it's a little sad to not see you use it more. So I would like to see you put that logo in every thumbnail. I think that's something, just a start off of something you can do that's going to give you more consistency. And so your viewers will appreciate that, because when they see that logo on the thumbnail, they know, hey, there's a new video out. Let's watch this. And it's a little easier to catch it out of the mess of the YouTube homepage. And
Absolutely. And if you want to add that in bulk, you can use the TubeBuddy thumbnail overlay feature to get TubeBuddy. Get TubeBuddy.com/can today. Ding.
Gotta plug it. It's good. And then also, I want to say the text. There is certain points, and I love how you're staying consistent with the color of having the yellow text, but yellow on white doesn't work. And so if you have this yellow text and it's just a little too light of a background, it can be a bit of an eyesore. Like for example, on this most recent upload that says a dinosaur ate my classmate, where it says classmate there at the bottom, I can barely read that. I have to really focus to actually read what that says. And so I'd like to see you do a little bit more with how you're doing your text and how you're making that approach. But other than that, I think it's pretty dang good.
And one thing I would also kind of keep in mind is like, your channel is going to be very hub based, like a dinosaur ate my classmate, Alicia and Anit, I'm probably butchering the name, snowing again, really, all those are not really searchable. So what you're going to be really relying on is the suggested algorithm, which is heavily thumbnail dependent. So unless you can find ways to, like, let's say you do a family reviews Captain Marvel or something like that. That's just an idea. Don't actually have to do that kind of content. But what I'm saying is, this content isn't necessarily the most searchable. It's very hub based, meaning that your core audience is probably going to love this. But when it comes to building a new audience, unless you're showing up in suggested algorithm, unless you have that good click-through rate, you're going to have a hard time in that regard. Now, that isn't to say that this isn't possible. It's just going to say it's going to be a lot harder because you're not targeting the easiest algorithm, which is search. So you have to keep in mind when you're not doing that, what you are targeting is that suggested algorithm, which is so heavily dependent on thumbnails. So that is what you have to keep in mind. So when it comes to looking at tags in this, it's not so much that it's the keywords are going to be really dependent on title. And if I look at, like, for example, a dinosaur ate my classmate, like when I see crazy kids, Canadian vlogger, BC, daily vlogs, crazy dad, Vancouver, like the chances to rank for those are so low. And because even if we look here, what YouTube's going to be doing is going to really rely on my previous watch history and then what it knows people likes. And like, here's an example. Because we just looked at UK Here We Grow on my screen, you'll see him here. Because YouTube doesn't know how to classify your channel, it's going to show me things I looked at recently. So great job, UK Here We Grow. You are being shown up in suggested if you were ever wondering. But that is something you're going to have to keep in mind. Hello, 30-Day Reviews. Happy to have you here in the chat. But UK Here We Grow has a big smile on his face. No worries. So that is something I would keep in mind. The Crazy Family Show says I do use the tag system a lot. So again, TubeBuddy can only help you based on what research you do, right? So a dinosaur ate my classmate, I couldn't tell you how to rank that because not a lot of people may be searching for this. And it's not that it's a bad title, it's just it's not really that searchable, at least from my standpoint. However, let's look at data, right? Because data is always going to be fact over my feeling is what I always tell people. So let's see. All right, what do I know? 6.57 million search videos show up for search, but the search volume is poor. So while there are a lot of videos, there's not that much search. It's very, very poor. So that is something you're going to have to keep in mind. But you do show up number one for it, I guess. It's one of those things, but actually, you don't even have that as a tag. You always should have your title as a tag. So as you see, you are ranking for it, but it's not that searched for.
What about doing eaten by a dinosaur just in general? Maybe a little bit more searchable, you know, Jurassic Park.
Maybe. But even then, I'm not sure if a family channel wants to be associated with that kind of search. So again, you got to remember, while in a general YouTube sense that might work, family channels is something to keep in mind. 30 Day Review says, Andrew, just switch to TubeBuddy free to give it a try. Well, 30 Day Reviews, I hope when you give it the 30-day review treatment that it holds up and is still good. So, who's the other voice, people are asking. So, you came in a little bit late. I am here with my friend Aaron, who, if you have seen the VidCon vlogs, if you have seen the video we have done where I talk about the TubeBuddy photo shoot on this channel, how to make a thumbnail searchable, which, by the way, that thumbnail is in one of my best CTRs, so thanks, Aaron. I guess your advice works.
I'm not getting fired.
Well, I mean, yeah. No, I'm joking, Aaron. Also, Aaron doesn't work for me. I should probably state that now.
You know, I do not work for Andrew. I occasionally do work for fun.
So as we look at you, the Crazy Family Show, it's really going to be what I'm going to need more of, and this also goes into kind of seeing. I need more playlists on your channel. Like I need more guidance here, and I can tell that you're working on it, and you've been coming back. You've been doing very well. It's just you're gonna need to really, really find a focus for me as a viewer to know what you're about, especially on this channel. And I want to like your channel, and I want to be invested in it. UK Here We Grow says theme it more. I definitely agree. So that is something to keep in mind. Kaylee W Roblox and more says cool TubeBuddy sticker. Thank you. Some of the perks of getting to work at TubeBuddy or some TubeBuddy swag every now and then. As we continue to go on, I kind of think we're gonna find the same similar feedback points. So do you have anything, Aaron? Or
the only thing that I want to point out is the channel trailer, and something about having a channel trailer made by somebody else, especially on a family channel, when it's supposed to showcase your family, it just irks me the wrong way, if you know what I mean. And I don't know who made this, whether it's a friend or slightly distant family, or if this is like Fiverr or something like that. But I would like to see you make a personal channel trailer for yourself and to show off why somebody should subscribe to you, because that's the point of this channel trailer, is to get me to subscribe. And so if I land here and look at this channel trailer and it's not you, where's the enticement, if you know what I mean?
Welcome Educate Page and Kaylee W Roblox and more says, I also use TubeBuddy for my channel and it helps me so much. Thank you, TubeBuddy, for helping me with my channel growth. The Crazy Family Show says, interesting feedback. Again, I like to see the new graphics. Like, I can tell you're putting effort in. I can tell you really care. What I need to know is, like, keep putting in that effort. I want it to be easy. Like, if I don't know your family, right, I want a playlist like Meet the Family or something. Meet the Crazy Family Show. So if people are looking you up, then the first playlist is, oh, I can meet the family. I can do stuff. I can feel like I'm interacting in a way. But as it is, I'm kind of having a little bit confusion. And 30 Day Reviews, also wondering if the family does a lot of Pokemon and why is the main pick a Pokeball. So that feedback comes from 30 Day Reviews. Overall, great, Aaron.
I want to give it an A-.
Okay. And what can they do to improve?
I'd like to see more thumbnail consistency, cleaner thumbnails, and then I want to see you remake that channel trailer. And I see here that you said you're going to, and so I am looking forward to seeing that new channel trailer.
We have a new supporter from The Wall. New supporter here, just letting you know I put up my first video yesterday. Welcome to YouTube, and congratulations on putting up your first video. As I take a look at the Crazy Family Show, I'm going to give you a B-. I can see that the effort is there. I want more. And again, a B- isn't bad. It's a lot of stuff to keep in mind. So you have some stuff you can improve on. I know you care. I know you're working on this channel. And so that's all stuff to keep in consideration. Again, thank you, The Crazy Family Show, for constantly coming back. And you always do your best to improve. And I appreciate that, because it's one thing to kind of get to do these channel reviews, but it's another thing to see people come back and actually work towards getting better. So thank you. We have one final person. Well, technically two, because Paul gave a super chat, and I don't know if Paul said he wanted me to look at someone specifically. So Aaron, if you could look that up for me. Paul, again, if you don't want me to look at your channel, maybe nominate someone in the chat you'd like me to take a look at. I think that would be a fun thing we can do. The next person up is New Josh 83, and I just need to know, is this the new kids on the Josh? Hopefully not. So, Aaron, I'll also let you have time to pull that up if you don't have it already. Do you have it pulled up in the background, or?
It's getting there.
Sweet.
The last thing I see from Paul is that he has messaged you back, so good news for you. But he has not yet nominated anybody.
All right. Love to, buddy. Should all have it. If you don't, says
Yes,
UK,
you should.
here we grow. Thank you. I am completely biased. I work at TubeBuddy, but I honestly was using TubeBuddy before I worked there, and it helped me grow way back when, and it's just something I continue to use because it is, my opinion, the best thing that has happened to my YouTube channel, bar none.
And I'm half biased because I've done the thumbnails and the photos.
Aaron's
but
like,
I love it too.
Fair. So why don't we get on to New Josh 83, as now we are going to transition back. Now, he's just Josh from the block. He used to have a little, but now he's got a lot. And because of the YouTube copyright system, that's where it's going to end. Okay. So I know as a gaming channel, I see it based on the icon here. I see that you have different games, but even though I know this is super hot, and I know some of these games, some I don't, so there might be a little bit of confusion there. But you see, what if I don't know this is a gaming channel? Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's obvious that it's gaming. We can look at the banner and tell that much. I want to say that I'm seeing Arc. I like the way he's done his text. This kind of like handwritten Japanese English style text. I think it's beautiful. I love the fact that his avatar is a hand holding a gaming controller. I think that is wonderful. And it does convey really well that this is a channel that is revolving around gaming. And the thumbnails are generic, I want to say. This is how gaming thumbnails are done. One thing that I do want to tell you is that visibility is important, and a lot of the text on these thumbnails is not visible or not legible.
Hard to read, I would say. I kind of agree with that. Kind of looking at posted videos. And so, again, as someone who has... I'm actually on my gaming channel here, right? So, I do a lot of games on my channel, too. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would like maybe... And it could just be because of how dark it is, right? Like, I can tell some of these games, and some it's just so dark I can't see. So maybe you can say, you can kind of mention, like, do you do Let's Plays? Because I see number 1, so I'm assuming these are Let's Plays. I mean, do you do Let's Plays, reviews? Like, be specific. I know you're Josh83, but give some more information. Like, old games, new games, and more. Just tell me a little bit of that. And then I definitely agree, and I think you might be using the TubeBuddy thumbnail generator. And if you are, then that's great. And if you are a TubeBuddy user, a member perk is using Tuber Tools, which is Nick Nimmons' like stuff of things, which he has a lot of great templates. Or Roberto Blake's Create Something Awesome Today YouTube Starter Kit. So I mean, there are some really good resources if you're a TubeBuddy member. And even if you're not, you can always look online. There are a lot of resources, and Aaron has some tutorials on Photoshop too. It's just saying, what I would say, you don't have to use Photoshop. You can use a lot of different editors, Canva, TubeBuddy thumbnail generator, whatever works, whatever is your fancy. But when I look at your most popular videos, right, I can clearly tell what these videos are about. But when it comes to like recent uploads, I can't really tell. It's very far away. It's kind of difficult to see. And that's something to keep in mind. And I want to be able to tell more. I like the Deus Ex Mankind Divided, but I know this is Deus Ex. But like, look here, Operation Blade, and I can't even read this because the 37 is cutting it off. So you really got to think, because thumbnails are so important, folks, when it comes to YouTube. That suggested algorithm is so powerful. And if you can show up in that, search is the easiest algorithm on YouTube, but suggested is a whole nother beast, and it has so many different benefits into it. So if you could come up there, that is something you really want to keep in mind. But Gabrielle Z says, cool channel, New Josh 83. We are at 20 viewers. Thank you, everyone. I know that this is a unusual time for me on a Saturday, but Aaron is here with me, and I'm feeling great. Aaron, what are your kind of thoughts as I kind of know some of these thumbnail stuff, and I kind of want to do some of looking at some of these videos from the metadata perspective.
Yeah, the thumbnails need work from the legibility aspect. I want to advise you to change your font, absolutely, first thing I would do is change the font, because on most of these, you're using these very stylized typefaces that are not readable. So I would change that. Make sure you're not doing, lights on lights or darks on darks as far as your colors. That'll help keep your legibility up. And like I said, the neo-looking font for your banner name is absolutely beautiful. Let's see here. So we're looking at home, right? And then I want to see, do you have playlists? Okay, you have playlists, but you're not featuring any. So one thing I'd like to see you possibly do is take series that you're doing currently and feature them as playlists on your homepage. And that encourages people when they stop by your channel page to say, oh, you're doing X series currently. Let's watch through and catch up to that.
I definitely agree on that. I think that's something that, especially as me as someone who does watch gaming, if I can see like, oh, you have a playlist ready for me, that's good. So one thing I wanted to kind of take a look at is Anthem Part 1 Heart of Rage, because I noticed that it has 452 views and you have 195 likes. I'll go ahead and drop you another. So this could be a video where you may have gotten lucky and that suggested algorithm, but since it's published, since it's being published, you may have fallen out, right? So this is a video where it's Anthem Part 1 Heart of Rage. I mean, you could have been the first to the draw. I don't remember when Anthem dropped, but this could have been one of those instances. So it's something you can consider and keep in mind, but these tags aren't necessarily the most searchable. And as you see, the only thing you're ranking for right now is your own name. Oh. Woo, folks. So, all right. That is something I'm going to have to deal with later, but I will keep focused. Skype is fun. Sorry if you guys got notification. But again, I don't know if, like, Anthem Part 1 is probably, if I were to take a guess, what did very well. But looking here, right, there are some video searches. Like, this is an example of something I think you may have gotten lucky in doing and being the first two. And if you look, search volume is excellent, but the competition is poor. And even the optimization strength is starting to go down. So you may have just been very lucky here. But what you want to focus on is, if you have this kind of luck, is you want to build a playlist and you want to kind of continue those points of success. And one of the ways you could have done that is you can still go back in right now and pin a comment. And that's something that you can easily do. And I don't want this to be a one-off success. I want it to be a practice that you keep going. Another thing I kind of noticed, Josh, is you don't have a channel trailer, right? That is something you should have for us when we are new to your channel, so we can go into that breakdown. We can enjoy it. And Aaron's kind of watching the video right now, and that's something to keep in mind. And Kaylee, W Roblox, and more, you asked when the next free channel reviews are, but Paul has given you the nomination. You are up next in the queue, and then it's 30-day reviews, and after that, if we don't get any more super chats, the free channel reviews are open. So we are going to be looking at Kaylee and then 30-day reviews. So yeah, I would say overall, new Josh, I need more clarity, and you might have clarity in your about, so I want to kind of take a look at that. So welcome to my channel, guys. If you like videos on video games, you have to come to the right place. So sit back and enjoy. Please like and subscribe and keep up. So I want more. I want more information. Who is New Josh 83? I want to know that. Welcome. Hello, guys. I'm New Josh 83. You want New Josh 83 there for that SEO because it'll help better place you on YouTube. And again, all that stuff really matters. Welcome, Greenie or Green Box. So yeah, that's all stuff you can kind of keep into consideration. And I would say what I'm seeing here isn't bad. I just want a lot more from you. So Aaron, you got to watch a little bit of the video. Any thoughts?
Okay, so let's start off with the fact that I know this game, so we're good here. I can actually somewhat critique this.
And so because you know this game, I don't want to keep focused on the game itself. I want you to kind of focus just on like the general quality and things that people at home can understand.
So the first
thing, we are on screen camera, so just a heads up.
Awesome. So the first thing that I want to suggest to you here is in your tags. One tag I'd like to see you put in and try is Anthem Let's Play Part 1, because at the end of the day, this content right here, right now you're tagging for walkthrough. For me, a walkthrough of a game is somebody who has played it before knows everything in the game and is going to tell you step by step how to do everything in that game, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of an idea, yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to see you do tags for Let's Play, because you're playing this on launch day, I can see, or well, a week after launch day for PC, because that's EA mess. I'm not getting into that, but I like the fact that you've used the game's like official description as your video description, but maybe personalize that and say, hey, I'm new Josh83 and we're playing Anthem.
I would say for his video description, who he is isn't as important as what the video title is, because title is, again, he's not so known to where people are going to search new Josh83 Anthem. They're going to be looking for Anthem. Once they find and decide they like new Josh83, then maybe, but as you're starting, don't put too much priority in your name. Focus on the thing that's searchable, and that in this case is Anthem.
Okay, so that, bearing in mind that, maybe perhaps change the description to Anthem Let's Play Part 1 and then describe what has happened in the episode. Like a little short description, or like maybe where you're starting off. Like we're starting off in the heart of Rage of Anthem, because that's searchable. That's the first encounter. That's one of the main story points. So take advantage of how searchable that is to direct a good description. You know, someone's going to want to click on that. They're going to read the description. They're going to see a good thumbnail. And because of your tags, if you're doing really good tagging work, it's just going to help you overall. And you've already done well. You kind of rode the launch wave. But now that the halo effect of that is kind of coming off after launch, the ability to tag better might help you out.
Fair. Overall, I kind of have to agree with Aaron on that, new Josh. I see a lot of potential, and you got really good and lucky there to get possibly shown up and suggested again as videos get older and older. If you can't convert them over to your channel, you really have like a 3 video. If you can get people into 3 videos of yours, they're probably going to subscribe. And it seems like you got people into video 1, but now it's really getting people into video 2 and getting people into video 3 and hopefully being a new Josh83 subscriber. So overall, I really like what you're doing. I'm going to transition back so you can kind of see the grade. I do see we have a super chat though from Stacy Morgan. The Wall would love it if you can check out his video. We are going to be doing that. Do you want the channel review on Stacy Morgan or the Wall?
It looks like Stacy has donated that review to the Wall.
Can we get some clarity on that? And once we have that, we will definitely do that. However, new Josh83 is who we are focusing on. Aaron, what is your grade?
I want to give this a B-. I think there is extreme room for improvement on the thumbnails. And then also, what I noticed in the Anthem video is that your microphone was a little touchy. So, you know, I see you're on PC. Maybe give your microphone a little bit of an upgrade, or check out Andrew's acoustic foam video, which will help you get a little bit better audio quality.
Aaron, I'll put some of the super chat money in your bag. No, I'm joking. But in all seriousness, when it comes to the microphone, I understand that you have what you have. Although, I would say maybe look up some tutorials on how to use Audacity, something that's free and something that you can tangibly take. And I do think that, because I didn't get to watch the video, Aaron, you have a little bit more say than I do. And it's good to have that, because that you're here, you can give that kind of feedback on some of the videos that you've seen. So if I'm going to give it just based on, you know, what I've seen on the channel, the layout, you know, there's no channel trailer, there's a lot that needs to be here. I'm going to give it a C+. And I think you can definitely bring that up again. Add some channel trailers. Get me some playlists on the channel page. And the channel trailer doesn't necessarily have to be specifically for your channel. It could just be a video that you feel best overall describes your channel and your goals. I see from new Josh83, yeah, it's not the best mic. So yeah, again, look into us. I had a good mic for a long time, but I didn't know how to use it. If you don't know how to use a piece of equipment, you can have the best camera in the world, but if you don't know how to light properly for the shot, it doesn't matter how good the camera is. If you don't know how to use a piece of equipment, it doesn't matter that it's the best in the world. It's not the best in the world for you. So get your skills, learn into it, and again, there's a lot you can do. Stacey Morgan says yes for the Wall. So Stacey Morgan, you are going to be in the queue after 30-day reviews. And after we handle Paul's request for Healy W, Roblox, and more. And again, folks, we will make it to some free reviews. Maybe we need to balance them a little better. Maybe we'll figure out a system. I'm not used to this many super chats, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. So, Kaylee W, Roblox, and more. So, Kaylee W says, yay, thanks for checking out my channel. Sorry for the kind of bad quality thumbnails. I don't edit or try to do thumbnails myself. I just take a thumbnail pick. Once I start growing, I will make better. So, since you don't edit your thumbnails and you don't edit your videos, I would say you're probably a little bit newer, and looking here, you seem pretty young for, YouTube and the audience. So one thing I want to keep in mind is that, and I want to switch over to personal, is that it's okay to be in that growing stage. A lot of people are in that growing stage. I said it earlier, Aaron may call me an expert, but I believe I'm a forever teacher. So your review isn't going to be focused on so much on a grade as much as it's going to be on some things you can take into consideration when you are making and growing on your channel here. So because of you being in that newer state, that's kind of how I want to handle this. Do you agree with that, Aaron?
Yeah.
So right off the bat, just if you don't have access to something to edit with, there are a lot of free tools out there. There's like Canva, which is a really great one. There is like paint.net, GIMP. So there are a lot of stuff where you can learn that kind of editing stuff right off the bat. I would say that I would maybe put a channel trailer, maybe if you're doing songs, because I see a couple of songs here, singing. I see your resolutions. I see that you're playing some games. Maybe you kind of focus on what you want this channel to be, and once you get those skills up in those photo editing programs, you can really kind of start dialing in this channel into what you want it to be. But if it's just a place that you're having fun and doing videos, then let it be a place you're having fun and doing videos. I remember when I was 12, I found YouTube. I'm 24 now and I'm old. But, I'm having my own revelations. I just had fun on the site. I've removed all of those videos since because I hated myself. But that's a whole nother can of worms. What I'm saying is it's very good that you're having fun. I see that you're saying that you're enjoying it right now. You say you're 12, so I don't recall as much. You're not old.
I think that translates to I don't really care.
Oh, I don't know. Going back to I am old. So, yeah, what I'm seeing here is that it looks like you stream as well. So, do you do streams frequently? Maybe that's something you can kind of let people know more of as you go on. So, that's something to keep in mind. I see from Greenbox, remember the Elgato Camlink 4K? You still haven't gotten yours? Wow. We're actually using the Camlink 4K to stream here. Again, I'm just kind of seeing some stuff. And you're just really trying. I would look more into like how you can do stuff on the YouTube side. Just like put your channel to be more discoverable. I do streams more. Well, if you do streams more, then I would highlight your streams on your channel. So one thing you can do is, and I'll show you, I guess, on my own channel, just to kind of, if anyone ever wanted to know kind of how I do it. I go to my channel, and some people don't know this, but you can go to your channel from TubeBuddy. And if you aren't using TubeBuddy, Kaylee, I'd recommend it. I know you mentioned TubeBuddy a bit earlier, but for how you can do this, you go to customize your channel, and then it really gives you the options to add some playlists. Make sure, as you can kind of see what I do on my gaming channel, I kind of try to focus on the games I'm currently playing right now. I don't have my own recent uploads, and I do actually have a reason for it, and this is my test channel, so I've been testing not having it on this one versus having it on my other. I do a lot of tests on this channel. What's weird, though, and this is just a complete side note, is that this channel you guys are watching now, Andrew Can, was my side channel, and this was my main channel. But now this channel is about to surpass my main channel, as I put in parentheses. And so now I'm just sitting here in an existential crisis. But if you hit customize channel, you can really kind of customize, as it says. You can just go down to the bottom and you can hit add a section. So you can add, you can add playlists. You can add upcoming live streams. So I know you said you do streaming, so you can add your past live streams, upcoming live streams. I'd create some of those playlists. And that's something to consider.
We have a TubeBuddy user.
All right. How can I get more subs? I'm really trying to get 1K or 100. Again, so if you're going to be doing a lot of streaming, one thing I would keep in mind, Kaylee, is that YouTube is a search engine. So whenever people want video content, they're going to be looking up things specifically. So a great example is this Never Learn by Kaylee, probably going to butcher it, Cotterell? Never Learn. So people are going to be looking up that song, and so if they like your cover, that's going to get people to come in and subscribe. I know you say you don't edit your videos, so you don't necessarily have to edit, but if you are going to have a video, it's going to need to be strong enough that the cover is good enough to where people like it. But I do see 92 views. That's pretty good. I know at that age I was not getting 92 views. So, yeah. Another thing is to keep in mind is I don't know if you're doing this on your phone. I don't know if you're doing this on a computer. So I wrote it myself. It's not a cover. Okay, so since this is an original song, that is going to be something to keep in mind. So I see you have singing songs. Maybe if you are going to be writing your own songs, maybe you put Kaylee original songs, something that can help people kind of find your channel. If you're doing, I see you do a lot of songs, so when you stream songs, maybe you just have a particular artist theme. So maybe like one time you can stream songs to whoever your favorite artist is who you listen to. And again, with covers and singing songs, you're gonna kind of maybe run into some problems with the copyright system here on YouTube, so keep all of that in mind. But overall, there's a lot that you can do, Kaylee, to really boost what you can do on YouTube. Yes, I definitely agree with 30-day reviews. Also being 12, I'd leave names out of everything social media wise. I kind of agree with 30-day reviews. I would kind of try to keep it as protected of your information as possible, because this is something I have been dealing with more recently, and like a lot of my friends, is like understanding that the internet is forever. So that's just kind of something to really keep in mind. Overall, I would say you're really kind of getting your footing on YouTube. Focus on, maybe when you're doing those streams, maybe focus on a theme or like a song that you're primarily are excited to sing in those streams. And, you know, start customizing your channel. Maybe feature a trailer of your most popular, you know, singing. And if it is this, you know, latest original song, which by the way is incredible because I can't write a song to save my life. So that is something to keep in mind. And Kaylee says, I know I got copyrighted 2 times. So it's 3 strikes and you're out. So be really careful on YouTube when it comes to the system.
And safety is paramount.
Amen. Aaron, do you have any feedback?
So I did look at one of your videos, and I'd like to point out that you have no description set and no tags. So take the time after you're done streaming, and I know sometimes people don't want to tag streams, and you should, because it makes streams searchable.
It does.
Streams are discoverable in search. It does happen more often than not. You'd be surprised. So if you're not doing them before you stream, at least go back after and add tags. So for example, if you cover a certain song, mention the song title. If you played a certain game, tag that game. The tags are important. You're not discoverable.
Transition back to camera.
Yeah, you're not discoverable if you're not tagging your content. So if you want to gain that viewership and you want to gain subscribers, my advice to you is start with the tags. That's going to make you discoverable. Then move to call to action. That's going to give you subscribers.
Absolutely. And that's some really good advice just in general. So again, when it comes to making sure, you know, I see that you're Kaylee W, Roblox, and more. So have fun doing YouTube and really just kind of enjoy the process of creating, because the more you create, the better you'll get. And don't be afraid of editing. There are a lot of free editing softwares out there for either your phone, either your computer, whatever you're using for YouTube. I promise you there's something out there. And again, keep creating, because a lot of people may tell you not to, but I believe that anyone can create. Not everyone may be the next Steven Spielberg, but everyone has a story. Everyone has a message that they want to tell. So don't be afraid to create.
Absolutely. There's no better time to start than when you're young.
Absolutely. And we got from Kaylee, okay, thank you guys so much for checking me out. I appreciate it. Of course, Kaylee, thank you. Paul, thank you for the recommendation. Kaylee, best of luck moving forward. And I think you'll have a lot of fun on the platform. So next I see we have from 30-day reviews. And so I know Stacey Morgan nominated The Wall, so I need to get The Wall up. That sounded, insert obvious political joke here.
I found it funny how 30 Day Reviews, his super chat says, I want to know what your buddy thinks.
All right, so I am asked to have Aaron. So, Aaron, you are taking it over. Aaron, you are going to let 30 Day Reviews know what you think of his channel.
Oh boy. Okay, so first off, your facial hair is on point. I think I've said this before because I've been in the streams where you have reviewed him, and I remember just going in chat and being like, this dude's on point. I like the banner. I think, oh yeah. So he's holding up a calendar and he has the 30th circled, and then it says 30 Day Reviews. I think that's awesome. Now, my only question to you is what happens in February. But let's see here. So
his name is Aaron, so double A Ron.
Oh my gosh. That's just a curse of my existence. So let's see here. We have this is your channel trailer I'm looking at here because I'm not a sub. So your channel trailer to me is best natural mustache wax top 3. Okay. Is that all that your channel is about? Maybe my advice here is that your channel trailer should talk about what you do in a generalization. So if you're doing 30-day reviews on this or 30-day reviews on that, that's what your channel trailer should tell people, is that, hey, I make 30-day reviews on these varying types of products. I think is the best way to handle a channel trailer in this case. I love your thumbnails. You're a consistent part of your brand, and in your thumbnails I see you every time and it's clear. It's like, this is very good. Even on your live streams you're doing custom thumbnails, and I appreciate that detail. I really do. I do believe we covered. I love the banner. So on a visual standpoint for this, so far we're looking pretty good. I'd be curious to know how this looks on mobile. I have a feeling there's going to be some cutoffs, so I will pull this up.
And while he's pulling that up, I will go ahead and I noticed that your 30-day reviews website is broken, so that could just be there's an issue with the HTTPS versus no S needed on YouTube. So that's really kind of something you could easily fix. 30-day reviews, I've looked at your channel consistently. So I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of understanding. Is there anything specifically you want Aaron to look at from a graphical standpoint? Because Aaron really does know his stuff when it comes to graphics. So it's really good to have someone who's never seen your channel. Maybe if there's something you're not sure of, but he seems to like a lot of what's happening.
So I am looking on mobile, and there's a little tad bit of cutoff.
All right.
But none of the text is cut off, and that's amazing. So fantastic done. I thought there might be a little bit of cutoff, and there wasn't, so I'm very happy about that.
According to Uncle Dan's, his manliness is so enormous, it's futile. It's a futile endeavor to try and match it. 30-day reviews coming soon. To a YouTuber near.
So I'm looking at the playlists right now.
Maybe you should take some of his beard balm recommendations, Aaron. Let's show off that beard.
So my beard's terrible, and you can go ahead and publicly shame me for it because I know it's bad.
I don't think you should publicly shame you. Maybe this is a channel you should subscribe to, Aaron.
I've been publicly shamed on the radio for this, and people can't even see my face, okay? So I'm used to it, and I'm told on a daily basis that I need to shave this off, and you know what? I'm okay with that, but I have hope that one day it'll look good, and so maybe you can provide me with a little bit of advice.
30-day review says you need a brush and some balm. Also, he asks, thinking of holding up my logo instead of a full calendar. Thoughts?
I'd like to see it. Maybe that's something. Test it out, switch it up, go back and forth, and see if maybe you get a little bit of a different data point.
The channel art's harder because it's just kind of a personal preference. I am not opposed to it, though I do really like your 30-day reviews with the calendar. So overall, I don't think it's a bad thing. I'd give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't like it, you go back.
Yeah.
I think either way it's going to look amazing. So experiment, have fun, do what makes you happy and you think is the best representation. And so back to the playlist here. I'm looking at. There's no text in the playlist as far as attributing it to your brand. So maybe put something about a 30-day review of insert product here for the playlists. Like I see there's a playlist for mustache product reviews. Okay, so maybe do mustache product reviews in 30 days.
I think he's focusing more on being searchable for the mustache product reviews than his channel. I think I get what you're saying, Aaron, but I think what he's going for is more so in the searchability standpoint than for people to recognize him. Because again, you want to focus on what's searchable more so. If he wanted to recent uploads or popular uploads or like his mustache recommendations specifically, I could see it.
But he also has my popular videos, and so I want to repeat the suggestion we gave far earlier of brand that, because my popular videos really not searchable, not discoverable. I would put branding in that at the very least. But for your playlist descriptions, I think they're incredible. I think he's really doing an amazing job of actually describing the playlists, although your Beard Bomb playlist does not have a description. So maybe add something there. And I like how also, I don't know if you're working with these people you have on the side of your featured channels, but your featured channels have relevance, especially like the Alpha M one. There's a lot of relevance there. So maybe you're keeping stuff in a circle and maybe that's circling back. I'd love to know how that's working. I want to take a look at one of your videos here. And let's look at SEO here. So I'm going to look at his latest video.
So Aaron, actually, people want to know what your channel is. So if you can do them a quick favor and comment in the chat so they know where they can follow you.
There you go. There's me.
He says 30-day reviews. Wish I was working with them. Well, one day we can all hope.
Oh, okay. Well. Yeah,
so as he's looking at your videos, again, 30-day reviews, you know that I've seen your channel. You know that I know you know what you're doing. So again, just kind of reiterating what Aaron said. Make sure those playlists that don't have a description get a description. Make sure that you do maybe have something for people who are like really into your channel, because that is something to keep in mind. I do notice that we also have someone from, I think Greeny actually left a $5 super chat. So Greeny, you will be in the queue. I do not wish to forget. So Aaron, why don't you go ahead and give your video feedback and let's look at the camera.
Okay, so I'm taking a look at your tags here, and I'm seeing your ranking for your channel name, which is good. I think that's great. So if someone wants to search up specifically you're going to come up. And you're ranking number 2, which is awesome. Now, I'm seeing you have wallet as a tag and minimalist. That's going to be difficult to rank for. So maybe try doing something that's a little bit more targetable. Like, for example, I see a tag here that says best wallet. Not so discoverable, but maybe do best wallet for, and then what's it best for? So is it best for space saving? Is it best for how much can you fit within a certain piece of material? Like, what is this best at? And try making that a tag, because maybe that's going to do a little bit better than having such generic tags. And so you're trending for spine wallet. You're trending for spine wallet review. Is the spine wallet any good? I think that's discoverable on Google search even, maybe, is where that could really come in handy, that kind of tag. But I'd really like to see you do more targeting tags of why is this good. So let's say I want the most durable wallet. Maybe do you have a tag like that somewhere that is going to make it more discoverable just a tip that may help you get discovered a little easier in search.
So, Aaron, what is your overall ranking of 30-day reviews?
I'm going to say an A.
All right. Aaron gives you one A, though his name has two. You're going to have to work to win the other A. Thank you so much, 30-day reviews. Always great to see you. And, of course, that is now someone new's opinion. I would love to see kind of your logo in you holding it here. I think that looked pretty cool. So, yeah, give it a shot. Let us know how you feel about it because, again, that's kind of where your opinion goes. And now, the wall. So, if I look on the about, because there's not really a they're not a thumbnail, but a YouTube channel banner. And it says, in hopes of finding more organization and help familiarizing each other's channel, I wish to build a foundation for channels much more than just shoutouts and organizing dates and times going live. Let's make connections. Welcome to the wall, your YouTube wall family. So I like that about. I would like to see that maybe it could be something as maybe like the wall of YouTube. Put your name here or something like that. Or something where you can kind of build that ideology. Because otherwise I'm not sure about it. What do you think, Aaron?
There's not much here to review. Start off there. I can't identify what this profile picture is. There is no banner.
The profile picture is a wall, so
okay, profile picture is a wall. I'm blind. I apologize. Maybe a more detailed description, as you were saying. I think a great idea for a channel banner for you, because you're talking about like a wall of YouTubers. Make a literal graphical wall of YouTube names. Just an idea. But there's not much here for me to really comment on. I mean, there's only one thumbnail, and it's a CNN clip. So how to judge that, I have no clue.
I don't know if it's an actual CNN clip. I haven't checked. It might be. So I'm just gonna pause that. I mean, you could watch that more. Looking here, there's no tags. There's the description. Welcome to. I mean, just even putting the Great Wall of YouTube, it just seems like Great Wall of China footage. It's here where we build a foundation to create a community of our own, getting familiarized with each other's channels. Again, we're kind of seeing that repetition of what is on the about. So, because of the newness of the channel, I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think that those fundamentals that are recommended by TubeBuddy, recommended by myself, I would say just make sure that you have a pinned comment. I see you have commented, but I don't see a pinned comment. There is a difference. Maybe add end screens, info cards, even to other channels that you want to build up within the wall. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything. Obviously, since this is the only video on the channel, that might be a little difficult, but maybe you can link to someone else's channel. Start the idea of the wall and building up each other right off the bat. So, yeah. Overall, it's really new. So, I see you said that you haven't shared it out with any of your followers yet. I do think it's a great concept. I just need to see it idealized a little more, because as it is, it's a little confusing for me. However, it's not a bad concept. Aaron, final thoughts here?
I think there's potential. I think that's really what can be said, because there's just not much to go off of.
Good night, Kaylee says, thanks for checking out my channel. Have a good night. You have a great night. Paul Peck, thank you as well for bringing Kaylee to our attention.
Another brick in the wall. I love that song.
The wall says I have a real wall with about 300 channels hand painted on it on my other channel.
Okay, take a photo of it. Make that your channel banner. Awesome idea. Just my opinion.
So with that, I think that's going to be it for the wall. Let's go to Greenbox. Hi, I'm an editor. Weekly uploads about camera and editing stuff. So I like the hi, I'm an editor. I like that we see the green box within the logo. I like how we see a light. I like how we see some lenses. We definitely get a clear idea that this is a photo based on film. That's what I'm getting, or an editing in film in that way. So I like that. Weekly uploads about camera and editing stuff is a little tiny. I like that it's weekly uploads. It's great. Good to know. I would want a reason why I need your weekly uploads about camera and editing stuff, right? So on my personal channel, the value proposition is together we can game. And there I go saying my personal channel. Even though my personal channel is Andrew Can, I get confused myself, folks. But I would like a kind of value prop. Like on my Andrew Can channel, the idea is like, if I can, you can too. So it's the idea that if I can do this, you can do this by watching and learning with me. So maybe weekly uploads, get better at camera and editing stuff. Something like that would be a value proposition. It's very easy, and I think it fits kind of very well with your current setup. What are your thoughts on the banner, Aaron?
It's good. There's, besides your logo, there's nothing that defines it as you. I'd like to see your name there. Maybe you have a reason for not having it, and that's perfectly fine. I like how you tell people that there's weekly uploads, because that, it helps. It shows people that you have a consistency. The small line though, where it says about camera and editing stuff, maybe a little more descriptive, maybe a little bigger, so it's a slight bit easier to read. I'd like to see how this looks on mobile, so maybe I'll pull that up and see how you did on that. I think there's going to be some cutoffs. I can tell you that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up.
Sounds good. Looking here, I see that you have a playlist for tutorials. It doesn't really tell me about what though. That is something. I do like the thumbnails. I think they're pretty decent. I think that if you messed up focus, watch this. I'm not sure how searchable that is. I feel like that's going more for the suggested algorithm. I see how to correct white balance in Premiere Pro. I'm curious kind of your click-through rate on these. I also agreed, I mean, if your channel is called The Green Box, why isn't there a green box around your thumbnails, just as a question? Something to consider. I see you do a lot of Elgato content, so I'd actually recommend, if you don't have one, maybe put a Elgato playlist together, how to set up everything within Elgato. Beanie Draws is in the chat saying, I am streaming at an odd time. It is different for a time for me, but we actually have hit peak viewers on this channel, which makes me really happy. I've hit my peak viewers of 24. That was the highest we've ever gotten on this channel, so thank you everyone who became part of that. I do appreciate it. But I would like to actually see maybe some more, ironically, green on your channel. Like, that is something I'm actually noticing. I do think your thumbnails are really good. I would click on them, though my opinion versus what your actual click-through rate is going to be two different things. So that is something I'd keep in mind. Overall, I like kind of the look. I would just keep testing this, and I would be really curious to what your searchability is on some of these. So Aaron, you kind of checked it out, so tell us.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the banner on mobile, and there is a little bit of a cutoff on the weekly uploads part. It's slight. If you move it down a little bit, it'll be
kind of cuts it off like this.
Huh?
Kind of cuts it off like this.
Yeah, it kind of just slashes straight through the upper part of it. Dark Motor Riot, living. Thank you, Preston. And I do want to touch on you, because you were talking about this video down here. If you messed up focus, watch this. I think maybe a better title to go for discoverability: how to focus a cinema lens, because I can tell it's a cinema lens right there. And I can tell you would have gotten me to watch it because Andrew had to teach me how to focus a cinema lens, and I still can't do it right. So you would definitely get my view on that. But if you title things like that, or like this other one that says his drone got confiscated, and maybe just focus more on discoverability. Like if you're trying to cater to an already existing audience, that's great, but you're trying to be discovered. You have 53 subs, you know, you want more, I assume, is the idea to grow. And so maybe discoverability would be better to focus on. And an Elgato playlist would be awesome because I see you are doing a lot of Elgato things. I see you did that 50 subscribers video that you talked about on the TubeBuddy forums. A plug for that. I love the forum. And then I see there's a live stream and a channel trailer, which I am now going to watch if you want to take over.
So Greeny, again, I think there is some stuff that shows, like, obviously a cut above normal kind of looking at the channel. I mean, kind of keep in consideration. I see from 30-day reviews, you may not want to overdo it with the green. I'm not saying like every border is green, but maybe kind of keep that in consideration. I see your hair is green. So I guess what I would like is maybe you can make a video like why the green box. Like that wouldn't be necessarily search based, but it's a very good piece of hub content that really can help. So I like that you're an editor. Maybe go into that some more, or maybe that's what your other channels are for. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. I think the thumbnails I'd click on, but obviously what is your click-through rate on this? That's going to be important. All of that really does matter, so keep that in mind. And as you continue to grow, you'll always find your style. You know this as an editor, that editing is a lot of learning, trying, and retrying. So it's very clear that you have a really good understanding of like photo manipulation and Photoshop. So overall, it looks really good. Just those little things on the YouTube home, the YouTube front. I'm pretty good to give this channel a grade. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I can give it a grade.
All right, so let's switch back to us. We've gotten unexpected clouds. What you get when you use a window, folks. So, go ahead and talk to.
So my review for this, I'd like to give you a B+. I think from an art perspective, it's wonderful, and that where the most changes could be made that would be most beneficial to you is, bring that text on the banner a little bit down so it doesn't cut off on mobile, and then focus on taking your videos and targeting them as more discoverable instead of driving current viewership, because you really don't have a current viewership. It's building. So you need to focus more on building a channel before you're catering to that channel, if you know what I mean.
That's really good advice, Aaron. Great job.
I try.
I couldn't really agree more. I mean, that's a really solid piece of advice. I can tell that you have chops, and I can tell that you want to show them off, but one thing that I heard at Vid Summit was that it's okay to know you have it, but you also have to earn the ability for people to just see a thumbnail and trust you with it. So I think you're earning that ability, and overall, I think I'd give your channel a B. I think you do a lot well. I can tell you know what you're doing. It's just that YouTube side. So keep that YouTube side up to the par of the quality I'm seeing on the channel.
Beanie says Chris 55.
Welcome to High Five ASMR.
Yeah, we did it right in front of the mic too.
Sorry if we peaked, but you're great.
B+.
Overall, you get a B. So I think we are, unless I miss, I think that is it for the super chat reviews. So let's get some other reviews in. If you are interested, oh, that was not very humorous at all. If you're interested in a channel review, let me know. I'm trying not to hurt myself. Woo. I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, so this is open up to the chat. I mean, we've seen a lot of great channels tonight, different types, different sizes.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts? How it's been going? I say tonight, it's only 4.
I mean, we've been going for 2 hours.
We have.
And we've seen a lot of amazing channels, a lot of potential.
The first person I saw was Thunder13. You are added to the queue. Keep going, Aaron.
I think overall, the experience that we've had is that we've had a lot of people that, for the most part, know what they're doing. And, maybe some people have a few places to improve here and there, but that's what these reviews are for, is to point those out and to get people on the right track to success, right?
Sweet. And I also looked back at some of what people were putting when we were going live. So I pulled up one from before, one from who just asked. So I got 13, I got Paint and Sound. And when we come back to it, we will go ahead. So 13, Thunder 13, if you're wondering, and Paint and Sound is who we're going to be looking at, Aaron. And in the meantime, thank you, everyone. We are up to 18 likes. We have 20 people watching right now. It is great to have you here with us. We're just enjoying our time, enjoying our lives. However, we can't stream all night. We will be doing our best to probably go maybe another 15, 20 minutes, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because Aaron is here for a limited time, and I don't want to keep this man away from friends. I want to have some fun, so let's go. Thunder 13. We are going to be checking you out right about now. All right, Aaron, why don't you lead this one off?
Well, we've got some anime, so you picked the proper man to do your review.
Aaron, keep it focused.
I mean, what if his channel is anime? I'm kidding. I'd like to see some work done on your channel banner because it's choppy. I can tell this is put together in some layering program because you can see that these... You've tried to render them out yourself, and while I applaud the fact that you took the time to try, I'd like to see you do a cleaner job, and I know it could be done. It's just more time consuming.
And I'd also recommend some, look up some tutorials on whatever program you're using, because I know when I showed Aaron some of my early work, he cringes thinking about it to this day. But did you draw your own avatar? Because if so, what a great job of incorporating, and even if you didn't, incorporating that into your banner. I think that's really well done. So looking here, I see that you do weekly videos, anime and Doctor Who discussions, reviews, and more. I like to know that we have a theme of anime and Doctor Who. So Thunder 13, my next question would be, I see that the Doctor is here, and I see, someone, I don't know the name. Sorry.
That is, are you talking about the MHA?
Right. To this one.
Ah, okay. So to the right, that is Deku from My Hero Academia.
Okay. So we have Deku Link from My Legend of Zelda. No, I'm joking. Don't want to trigger people, but I definitely get what your channel is about. Maybe at this point, try to find a reason to give us to subscribe, right? Like your anime and Doctor Who reviews. Why yours? Why your discussions, right? That's something just to kind of keep in mind. And I think that I get an idea of what the channel is about pretty well from this.
I'm looking at the banner, and one thing I just want to point out is there's something I would advise you to search up in your free time. That would be what's called kerning. And one thing I'm seeing in the banner is that there's certain letters in the text that are just so smashed together that it's very hard to read. And so kerning is a technique that's going to help you fix that if you are into something like Photoshop, which I want to assume you're using. And if you're not, maybe give it a try. There's a free trial. It's fun to use. And kerning is definitely something that will help you here. I like your thumbnails.
People are saying about the red. Red is a hard color to use for text.
Yeah.
Red seems to only work against a black background. Red equals warning alert. So also kind of keep in mind, people are thinking like, if you're wanting to alert your viewers, some people here are saying that you're doing a good job of that, Thunder. So that is something to keep in mind.
I mean, it's visible.
Mm-hmm.
The colors of your banner are police siren, basically. So
we're very American.
Or very American. It's very squished together on the banner as well. So maybe bring that in a little bit and off the borders as much, because there will be clipping there. I guarantee it. And so you want to avoid that whenever possible. But what I would like to do is, let's see here. Are you featuring any playlists? No. You have playlists, and you have things like facts here. Okay, so you have a playlist called Facts, and your thumbnail for this says MHA Amazing Facts. So what I'd like to know is this a My Hero Academia playlist? So maybe you should, if that is the case, change this playlist name to Facts About My Hero Academia. And that's a little bit more searchable and discoverable. So it's just certain things here and there that are gonna help actually get your content out there and discovered. And so I'm gonna go ahead and watch one of these if you want to take over.
Perfect. So as I look here, I mean, going back to what Aaron was saying, with the thumbnails you created, like if you're gonna do reviews, like you could have, especially if you're a review kind of channel, have the show that's going live now as the thing you're reviewing, right? And that is something that if I'm a viewer, I want to watch your Doctor Who reviews, or if I want to watch your anime reviews, seeing it live right now. So for example, Dragon Ball Super episode 56 review is something I see on your uploads. If I see that right up in front, or like you're right up in front in your Dragon Ball reviews, like I should want to see episode 1. If I'm like, oh wow, 56 episodes of something I'm liking from a reviewer I'm liking, then that's really good. So overall, I don't see enough playlists, and maybe a channel trailer, maybe some more stuff, maybe some more featuring, maybe you have more in your about, so I'll check that out now. Hello loyal viewers, hello loyal subscribers, my name is Thunder13 and welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, I upload every week on Sunday with the content of anime, of Doctor Who reviews, discussion, more. Subscribe if you haven't, hope you enjoyed. I didn't even know you uploaded on Sunday until I came into your about, so I'd like to actually see that in your banner. And I'd like to see, like I said, more playlists. Make it easy for me as a viewer. If you ever watch Netflix or any streaming service, think about how easy it is to watch the whole season. They make it really easy for you. So you should make it as easy as possible. Green Box says, before you guys log out, what film school did I go to? I will tell you that on the forums. Not too public about that, just for some security things. We talked about security a little bit earlier on the stream.
Yeah, I am the same. I do not reveal too many personal things on the internet because I have had my struggles as well. And I have watched your video here, Thunder13, and so...
And just a quick feedback from Cypher Boy. I know you told me last time. I would delete the created playlist and feature each individually in a horizontal format, which is pretty fair advice. Aaron, you were saying.
So I watched your video here, and one thing I'm noticing is you have a watermark for Power Director. And so if you like this software, I don't know what your situation is, but maybe look into purchasing it and getting rid of that watermark. And if that's not an option for you, maybe try a free alternative, DaVinci Resolve, free program.
Express.
I'm not sure of that one, but it exists. Or if you're on a Mac, iMovie. If you're on Windows Movie Maker.
If you're on
cringe,
mobile,
I know.
If you're on mobile, there's stuff like KineMaster. I know D Niman talks about. So there's a lot of stuff.
But yeah, there are options out there that'll be able to get rid of that watermark, and I think that's just better for a quality point of view to not have a watermark in your content. So I watched the Dragon Ball Super episode 56 review, and it felt to me as more of a synopsis than a review. So perhaps put a spoiler tag, mention that there is spoilers in this video because you talk about the episode. Like, someone's gonna look at this and say, oh, it's 1 minute and 54 seconds, it must be a review. No, it's a full synopsis of what went down. So maybe mention that it's a synopsis and review.
People are asking, who's the other guy? Aaron, it is time that you explain yet again who you are, what you're doing, and how people can learn more about you.
So I am known as the other guy. My name is Become a Prime. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, the 2Bitty forums, and YouTube. Although there's not much content of me as of this time, but that will soon change. And I work as a professional photographer, mostly photographing aircraft and supercars.
I say pull up Aaron's channel. Ooh, spicy. I do that. I already roast him enough in his personal time. We don't have to.
Yeah, we don't need to roast me today.
So,
although it could be done. It could easily be done. I have my own problems, and I am the first to admit that.
Always be learning, folks. So, overall, what are your thoughts on kind of Thunder13's channel here?
I like the thumbnails. I like the art. I'd like to see you do like I said, a better job. Maybe switch up that editing. Work on your tags a little bit. There's a few.
Yeah, you get 500 characters. I see that you aren't using all of those.
I love your description, how you really talk about what's going on. However, your description has a few spoilers in it, so I think it is important to say that there is spoilers, because you don't want people getting mad at you for sharing spoilers, especially when it comes to something like this, because anime fans can be touchy. So beyond that, I think you're doing a good job at just there's a few things that you can do to improve.
Well, overall, what's your grade?
I would like to give you a C plus.
All right, and with that, you're gonna get C++. So go ahead and start learning code. And that so people are saying I need to do it. Aircrafts. What's your favorite plane, Aaron?
My favorite plane, that would have to be the SR-71 Blackbird.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, the reasoning about it, it was developed in the town that I live in. We have a vast majority of those aircraft on display in the town I live in. So if that doesn't tell you where I live, I don't know what will. And I'm not too afraid about that because that's public anyway. But
like Healy says, the other guy always breaks up marriages. It's always the other guys in news and films keeping my wife away from the other guy.
And also, the SR-71 was used as Jetfire in Transformers, and I am a big Transformers buff. So
people are upset with my C++ joke, guys. If you're upset with my terrible puns, we got some problems. Aaron, let's put it this way: you get to escape them when the stream ends. Aaron lives with them.
Yeah, daily basis, and I love it.
Half the super chats in your PayPal by tonight. Developed in the town I live in. Security in the internet. All right.
Like, see, that's the thing where and if you don't mind, the security on the internet is important, very much so. And part of the thing with me is that I run a business, and with any business, certain information is discoverable. Some of my information can be found, and some of it's just not hard. And I do the best I can to have security. I take every precaution, believe you me. But it's part of the risk of doing business, especially on the internet. So, take heed of your security. It's very important.
I think they were making a joke that you said that, and then you weren't so secure with your information.
What can I do?
Well, now that you've asked, some joking. But let's get into Paint and Sound. All I can think of is that song "Safe and Sound" now.
I don't know what that song is.
I'm not going to sing it because of the platform we're on.
Ooh, I like the art.
All right, so first, right off the bat, I would like to say I have seen your channel. Paint and Sound has left comments on my Seattle vlogs, so I do appreciate your comments. I do know you are active in the channel, and I appreciate that. So Paint and Sound, unique painting technique using paper and blue tape. And knowing that knowledge, I like how we can see blue tape in the banner. I like how there's blue tape on this grid here. There's a lot of blue tape just kind of subtly here, and I think that's really cool. I like seeing the green, which I can see in your avatar seems to be kind of a theme here. So, yeah.
I'm getting the feeling that the owner of this channel is an artist, and so I expect nothing but the best of art from this channel.
Well, you see, that's where I'm going to have to disagree. I am mediocre at a lot of things. I'm decent at filmmaking, but that doesn't mean I can make a good thumbnail. Just because I'm great at one program doesn't mean I'm good at another. If I could draw, I wouldn't be a cinematographer in film. Let's put it that way.
Well, so far, I love his artwork. I like the brand. Great profile picture. Check your about page. Okay. I mean, it talks about things.
One thing I would say, I see the coming soon to Paint and Sound. Maybe kind of explain the reasoning behind Paint and Sound. I would like to know that, especially in the about. Because like that's something that's really cool in the about section, and it's a unique opportunity you get. So yeah.
Okay, so your featured video is Home Studio Tour 2019, watching Super Bowl Grid 57. Uh, how that is a channel trailer, once again, I like to make this point because I think having a strong channel trailer is very important. And I'm one to talk because my channel trailer is also terrible, so I should not be the one criticizing this, but I will anyway. I think it's important to have a channel trailer that broadly covers what you do. So do something, however simple it may be, just talking about your channel, what people can expect to see. And I think that's the best, most effective way of doing a channel trailer.
And kind of looking here, one thing I notice is like your playlist, you do have them, but it's a little difficult to see them because I have to scroll down with the vertical list here. So I would like to actually see maybe more horizontal playlists. And maybe if you want to do a vertical, maybe it's like your last one and it's like something that you really want people to see. But vertical is hard, especially when I'm trying to view it on phone because I really have to keep scrolling to find the content I want. So that's something I try to tell people is like think about how a mobile user would look at it, and that's something you can keep in consideration here. I also do like how you talk about, you know, Aaron, you're talking about he's clearly an artist, but I want to see maybe more if you're gonna like have unique painting techniques using paper and blue tape, then maybe we have a created playlist called using unique painting techniques to create X, or using paper and blue tape to make X kind of videos. Because if you have them, I can't easily see them, and I think that would be cool. I see thumbnail color and theme ideas for 2019, so that's actually really useful to like YouTubers and stuff. Seattle artists, I think you're highlighting someone specifically there, so I want to see more of that being featured on the channel. And since you have Seattle artists there, it's kind of clear. Like I see Seattle snow. I see like the big focus is on Seattle here, and I know that because, well, I've seen you comment about my Seattle vlogs, but it's understanding that I'd like to see more. Maybe if you, I can tell you love Seattle, maybe focus on it a little more in some of your playlists. Think of things like that. What are you thinking, Aaron?
So one thing that I am noticing for the videos, and I want to mention the blue tape thing. If I want to know, is your channel directed towards people who want to do painting? Because when I see blue tape, the first thing that comes to mind for me as someone with a bit of an art background is masking tape. Use it for painting all the time. And
Paul Peck gives a great critique here. More color or crisper images in the thumbnails would be nice. I kind of agree. It's a little difficult to see what the thumbnail's about. I see you're going for a theming. It kind of looks like, you know, you have the blue and the green, and then you have what the video is kind of about on the right-hand side. I'm curious to see what your click-through rate is, because while my opinion may be I want to see something else, it could be that it performs incredibly well. So I'm just curious on that.
And then looking at the latest video, to mention the tags.
So 71, I'm assuming?
We were looking at the most recent video.
Got it.
Uploaded. There is a lot of tag work that needs to be done here. This is very broad.
Yeah, so the one-word tags I definitely recommend getting rid of. I would maybe focus on what is searchable here, which is Pike Place Market, which is a market in Seattle. I would maybe focus a little bit more on that. Describe what happened that day, so at least people looking up Pike Place Market can do. And actually, this is something really cool on YouTube Creator Studio Beta at the time of this, because if you're watching this in the future, and that is now the new Studio Beta, there's a way you can tag locations. So if you want to feature a location in your video like Pike Place Market, maybe that makes sense to geographically tag that location so you have a point of interest, so people looking up that have even more. And again, anytime YouTube wants data from us, they're using it to help us. I've been testing data points of locations in my travel vlogs, and I've had a lot of success from doing that. So start doing it, because here's the thing. People aren't going back to their old videos and doing it, and you have a real chance here. Heads up.
So I think we hit a lot of what we could. I think the most room for improvement is in the tagging for sure. And if you need advice on that, there's, I believe, tons of videos on, I think, your channel and also the TubeBuddy channel that could be looked at for tags, correct?
Correct. And Green Box says tag location new. I'm sure I could do that for almost 8 years. It was a thing, then they removed it, and then they brought it back. So it is now new again, but not really new. Paint and Sound says, what? Yep, you got the idea. My niche? I would say your niche is painting based around Seattle, but I only know the Seattle bit based on the videos. It's not too clear here, and I'm not sure if that's actually what you want your niche to be.
It looks like there's...
Thank you, Old Geezer Gaming says, share the stream on Twitter.
There's like a mixture, I think, between painting and then also vlogging, which is fine.
Yeah.
That can be done. Maybe do different thumbnail designs to show people like, hey, this is a vlog, or hey, this is painting.
Yeah,
so that people can differentiate the content. Because let's say you have someone sub to you who likes your painting but doesn't so much care for a vlog. When they click that thumbnail because it looks familiar to them, you're going to have viewer retention drop off because they're not interested. So maybe just try to differentiate that, and that might help.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Overall, if I were to give you a grade, I think you have some stuff here that could be improved. I think that I can tell a very coherent theme and idea set. I just need some refinement. So I would say focus on refining, like making it easier for your viewers, figuring out what your voice is within the terms of how you want to present it to your audience, and then rock with it. I think overall I'm pretty happy with what I see. What is your grade, Aaron?
I would like to give this a B+.
Aaron, who I keep putting as B, gives a B+. I'm going to give a C+. I think you can do just a little bit more to really kind of hone into what you're currently doing. And so that's something to keep in mind. Welcome, your real estate whisperer. That is good. Open video tab. Okay, can do that. So I see a lot of variety in the thumbnails here comparatively, but again, because I don't see them on the home page, most people won't make it necessarily to your videos tab. So overall, I think pretty great job. And I think that that's going to be it for this stream. We've been going on for a while here. Aaron's only in town for a select period of time. Everyone who gave super chats, thank you so much. Aaron, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And the stream didn't fall apart. I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. Bye.